can't jump in. No haircut today, just ponytail. Okay. I'm dying. I'm falling apart. I can't today. Right out of the gate, I if I can't hold it together today, I at least have I've shit. Okay, so Greg Kelly, the angriest man on the interwebs, is got stuck on a bus today. On the bus, that's right. Just in case any of the people who host shows on Fox News are worried about the Newsmax nipping at their heels. I'm not high. I'm high on circumstance. Shit. This is so funny. So Greg Kelly took the whoops. Oh, you don't dare. Hold on. Why would you not do that? Now I gotta hold on. Where's my be right back screen? Give me 1 second. Shit, what this is? Gotta jump on my joke like a son of. I don't even understand what the heck is the thing. This nonsense. Gotta try to make me crawl under my desk just to do such a thing. That the holy smokes, and then I'm back. Now let's see if it works. There we go. I was laughing too hard prepping the show and getting my clips in order to. So, I don't think anybody in the 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. zone of Fox News ever has to take the bus to work. I'm just saying, or from work. Now, if they chose to in some sort of weird Tom Hartman, it's better for the environment kind of a way, good on them. I fucking doubt it. But so Greg's on the bus to switch things up. I can't. To fucking switch things up. Hey, I'm just going to roll the dice. Come on, put a little pizzazz in my day. To switch things up, I took the bus this morning. A real long one with one of those accordion springy things in the middle. Because that's the problem, is the length of the bus. Shit, I had to take an Uber to get from the back of the bus to the front of the bus. Everyone is nice, but we make stops every other block, and it feels like the slow boat to China. Uber, here I come. So this is it's a bendable bus, basically, and it's an extended bus. This is stupid, and they have to have them because you can't turn a corner in a bus if it was that long. Yeah, it's stupid. The length of a train car, obviously, it's got an elbow. It's an elbow bus. All right, so that's the first one. Wait. Next up. Now we're skipping all the stops and I need to get off. Don't take the bus. One tweet earlier, we're stopping every other block and it feels like the slow boat to China. Now we're skipping all the stops and I need to get off. Don't take the bus. What he doesn't realize is that where he works is the area where people who don't take the bus work. So they don't have like a lot of stops there because people either take the train or they take a limousine to work because it's in Midtown or some shit. Now we're skipping all the stops and I need to get off. Don't take the bus. Oh, wait. Just wait, though. Wait, it so gets bad. Yes, we know that, YouTube. You have to signal to get off the bus at some point. Yes, they have a stop button. Believe me, people were screaming this at him. People were going, Greg, you have to fucking push the button and pull the cord, dum-dum. He has the tweet. He's firing back at them. This is, okay, wait, by the way. The first one is 7 hours ago. The next one is 5 hours later. Oh, shit. Wrong. I did pull that dopey cord to get off the bus. The dopey cord. I said to the driver, what the hell? Of course you did. Of course you're the prick in the back of the bus going, what the hell? And the guy's going, this is an express through these blocks. Look on the sign. I said to the driver, what the hell? Prick. And he told me, hard to hear because the driver was sealed into a ridiculous plastic COVID box. That 6 blocks of bus stops don't exist anymore because of bike lanes. Ban bikes in New York City. What a petty, pathetic piece of shit. And then, of course, he's, more angry. Oh, there you go. I pulled the damn cord 4 blocks earlier. It's 4 hours in. When people are like, this is supposed to be his picture of the cord or something. But he's like, people are like tweeting him like, hey, fucko, you got to pull the cord. And he's like, I pulled the fucking cord. Oh God, what it's nice to know that our assessment of Greg Kelly as the angriest man on the interwebs carries with him everywhere he fucking goes. Because he is now officially, and this gets better, by the way. There's a punchline to this ridiculousness. Shit. So, okay. So this is a lot of the, his normal bullshit and da-da-da. Look at this. I will be issuing a complete statement regarding this morning's bus ride tomorrow at 11 a.m. Because we all give a shit. Greg needs a moment, guys. Greg needs a moment. He's got to get himself together. He clutched his pearls so much it broke the chain. Okay, wait. Now we back up to his shittiness and his whatever and his shittiness. Where is it? Okay, the shit he has in his feed is just maniacally weird. Like he's such a bitter piece of shit. Here it is. This is the thing. There it is. It's before this one. Where is it? This one. This was the night before. That's a damn booze cruise, and it just woke me up. What's the number for the Coast Guard? Apparently this is out his fucking window. And he's now old man yells at clouds, screaming at boats. And by the way, he filmed it so you guys would know just how loud it is. That's what we can hear. And he posted that loop like, see, how can anyone sleep through this low rumble of nothing that is barely audible through my fucking window? Oh, fuck. I'm dying. Thank you, Greg Kelly, for blessing us with the joy of your misery. Shit. If you're just joining us, please roll back to the top and then you can jump in. Oh, God. Oh yeah, 20,000 views on this asshole's little clip. Oh, my God. So good. So good. Oh, and then, hold on. Then I have to find this. One more little Greg Kelly moment, and then we'll move on with the regular show. Oh, shit. Just fuck. So, then he posts this, and only people who watch the show regularly will get why this is just fucking magnificent. Day number 1. I don't know why you have to put the word number in there. You just say day 1. On Earth, we say day 1, Greg Kelly. Day number 1. new and very strict food diet starts today, doing a reboot. Today, I've had only oranges, coffee, and an egg, similar to what's picture below. Look at this. Can we not?
5 eggs.
The man is giving himself.
Eat 2 eggs, a damn eggs in a month. 5 eggs. 5 eggs.
I can't. Only shit. He's only eating 2 oranges, 5 eggs.
5 eggs.
And apparently a hay. It's the Easter diet. Oh, shit. Oh, God.
5 eggs.
Oh, my God. Like he wants, I think Greg Kelly is upset that Bongino, who is looking for TP for his bunghole, and Rudy Giuliani and a couple others have won 5 eggs.
5 eggs.
More than he has. And but Greg, your little bitch fest about riding the bus makes you the winner.
5 eggs.
And you don't have to beg for it. Shit. I know. I can't. I'm fucking dying. Oh, God damn it. Oh, God, I'm gonna. Oh, shit. Just even his picture looks angry. Oh, God. And he lost Greg Kelly. Can't be Greg Kelly. Somebody else stole it, so he's Greg Kelly USA. That's his blue check mark name. By the way, in case you don't know, Let's Go Brandon is what Biden supporters yell when there's a lot of Trumpers around and they're yelling, fuck Joe Biden. You yell, let's go Brandon. That lets everybody know that you're a Biden supporter. And somebody should tell Greg. Shit, and he stole the fucking picture. Look at this asshole. Look at this. He stole the fucking picture from clip art without paying for it. Take a picture of your fucking breakfast, you tool. Oh, Greg is watching. Oh, Greg has seen the clips. Oh, and Greg will see this one too. Hi, Greg, you fucking piece of pitiful little whiny little fucking puppy of a human. Oh my God. Oh, I'm trying not to cross my own lines. He probably thinks I'm less of a man because I'm crying. The reason doesn't matter. It's the tears that show weakness.
5 eggs.
Oh God. It's so, the world is folding in on itself. Oh, Greg, we know you're watching. Scroll, and by the way, Greg, do yourself a favor. Don't just watch me teabagging you. Just don't watch my clips just landing on your forehead. Scroll back through the chat that goes with this. It is, because I'm not alone in this. Hold on 1 second. I think we have a package. Somebody's ringing the bell. What's happening? Hold on. That'll be the end of that clip. It's Greg Kelly at the door. Oh God, that's so funny. I'm back. Sorry, that was Greg sent me 5 eggs and 2 oranges. Oh God. Oh yeah. So it's my breakfast. Yeah, Greg took the bus to my house. Oh shit. Just the fact, like, you can't even. Greg Kelly is doing so well at Newsmax, Fox News, that he has to take the bus to work and steal clip art to show his stupid breakfast that nobody gives a shit about. His very strict. By the way, None of us are fat shaming Greg Kelly right now. Greg, it's okay if you're fat now. Just own your fat, your fatty fatness. You're fat. No one cares. No one cares if you're a big fatty fat. And and you're scared that people will judge you because you sit for a living. Oh God. I'm sorry. This is so fucking stupid. He's such an asshole. Oh God. This is gonna be. There's no way I'm gonna be able to do anything else today. Thank God we have a double dose of idiot today. Yeah. Oh God. I mean, this is. What a. Are we sure this isn't a Snapchat filter that I use? Something's going on here. Like, this is...
Sit down with President Donald Trump and...
Oh, look at that, an exclusive interview. And it's exclusive because nobody else on Fox wants to talk to him. And by the way, your exclusive sit down because apparently he'll only call into the shows that have male hosts. Her mascara has some eye in it. Chat, I love you. I just wanted to, I wish I could, I love you and I want to have your babies. I'm proposing to my chat today because you guys are so awesome. By the way, don't forget to like and subscribe, give a thumbs up if you support what I'm doing here because apparently I'm the only one who does it. We'll talk about that in a bit. Like no one else is capable of doing what I do on this show. They don't even try. Would the Blazing Saddles quote, "You're the leading asshole in the state," be appropriate? Yes, I think so. For Greg Kelly, no question. All right, here we go. Here we go. Oh, son of a bitch. She does a sit-down interview with him. I have no doubt he'll finally answer all the tough questions, and he will not start rambling about the same bullshit he says at all of his rallies.
Florida, where he was in great spirits and as fired up as I've ever seen him. His prediction for the Virginia gubernatorial race.
His prediction?
Sit down with President Donald Trump in Florida, where he was in great spirits and as fired up as I've ever seen him. His prediction for the Virginia...
His prediction? It's prediction, sort of.
Gubernatorial race.
I'm just saying, wine and lip plumping, I can't even say it. Don't. Lip plumping lipstick do not mix.
Action to Biden's disastrous administration and so much more. Take a look. Mr. President, thank you so much for having us here at Mar-a-Lago.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah, he looks great. I mean, this is a man who's just... I'm almost wiped out by the verve.
One word that could sum up the Biden administration, it would be crisis. There's the energy crisis, the supply chain
the energy crisis,
the COVID crisis.
The energy crisis.
It would be crisis. There's the energy crisis, the supply chain crisis, the COVID crisis. If you look back on the last months of the Biden administration, what grade would you give them?
Well, it's probably the worst presidency in history. I can't imagine. I used to say Jimmy Carter.
You did? Jimmy Carter was the one? Oh, I know why. Guys, there's a reason why he used to say Jimmy Carter. Because Jimmy Carter only created twice as many jobs as Trump did in one term. Yeah, look it up.
Fan of Bush getting us into the Middle East, to be honest with you. I think this...
He didn't get us into the Middle East. We've been in the Middle East for a very long time. Ask Iran. He got us into Afghanistan and Iraq.
So the worst in the history of our country. If you look at Afghanistan and that horrible thing that happened to our nation.
You mean that we got out? Yes, it was horrible. It was horrible. Sorry, Sasha. Thanks for being here but cheers. See you again. That horrible thing where our country got out of Afghanistan after 20 years.
These young people being killed, and by the way, so badly injured. We have over 20, no arms, no legs. Nobody ever talks about them.
Well, yeah, we do. but we're not dwelling on them any more than you bring up the 64 Americans that were killed in Afghanistan while you were in office and the other 128 service people that died during the Trump administration. And by the way, Biden, for all the shit he got when he went to the exchange where they brought them, the dignified exchange. I'm blitzing on the name of the ceremony that they have. Biden has been to all of them and is going to go to all of them more than likely. Trump went to 4 out of 96.
And then to leave $85 billion worth of the best military equipment,
Well, second best and not brand new.
new, much of it brand new, better than
Much of it brand. Yes, those prop airplanes. The brand new prop airplanes that we left behind.
we have, right out of the box. And they didn't
Right out of the box. By the way, in case you don't know, Apache helicopters and M4s are all delivered by Amazon.
explode it. They didn't blow it up like they said.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did. And stop shitting on the troops. And don't fucking him. They absolutely did. They stop saying our soldiers served dishonorably, because they fucking well did not. Fuck you, Donald Trump, and fuck you, Janine Pirro. Don't yup.
Couple of old planes that were not very valuable. No, I think that was the worst. And I'll tell you what, it's getting to be pretty close. What's happening on the border is one of the great embarrassments for our country also.
Well, so we'll talk about those individually, but what grade would you give the Biden administration?
Yeah, give me that buzz thing, because nobody's going to listen to this rambling shit. So it's the nonsense you always say, and you're boring me. So can you please give us some little thing we can use for clickbait on Fox Nation, where this will air right before Tucker Carlson's call to arms?
I think you have to say an F and not an F plus. It would be.
Yeah, definitely not an F plus. No. You know, and there's no way that the Biden administration would be anywhere in the same category as Trump's grades in college.
It's a failed administration. It's a disaster.
Oh, F is for failed. I see.
I've never seen anything like it. And by the way, I wish you'd do well. You know, I love the country more than I love anything. Family, God, country, you know, we have to take care of our country. I would love.
Yeah, buzzword, God, family, country, all these things. You know, family starts with an F.
See him do well. I don't think there's ever been a greater embarrassment as an administration, and we had everything ready to go. We handed him on a plate, whether it was the border or Afghanistan. We were getting out, but we were going to get out with great dignity and strength.
Well, you know,
how the fuck does that? Where was did you? We left them the great dignity and strength roadmap to get out of Afghanistan, which of course involved not processing thousands of special immigrant visas on purpose, stiff-arming the very people that helped us the most and whose family members would be the most in danger, just blowing that whole thing off, setting the date for May 1st, and then literally taking no steps towards that date. None of the preparation, and as a matter of fact, intentionally setting back those steps.
Joe Biden was sold to us as a guy who understood foreign relations. He was a United States senator for 36 years.
He's a United States senator. The wine at Mar-a-Lago is, its boxes are second to none.
On the Foreign Relations Committee, he was a vice president for 8 years. He was sold to us as a guy who understood foreign relations.
Well, his own Secretary of State, Gates, said very strongly he never made a correct decision.
No, Gates said he was on the wrong side of every decision, which, by the way, he's turned out to be right about. The complaint that Gates had about what Biden was saying about Afghanistan all turned out to be true. Everything Gates said about Afghanistan turned out to be a steaming pile of bullshit.
In his life. Now, that was made numerous times by numerous people, but it was made even recently by Gates and others that worked with him. And I think Afghanistan...
No, you just read that quote again.
And was a disaster. Not getting out. I was the one that set it up. I brought it down to 2,500 soldiers, and we were in great shape, and they weren't going to touch us. They knew they weren't going to touch us.
Because if they touched us, we would stay in forever. And then you never plan to keep tell her how you never planned to keep the deadline in May. And that they were going to kill us, kill our soldiers after that date because all bets were off. And that would have meant we could have stayed in forever.
And then he took out the military.
And by the way, on a platter is the phrase, not on a plate. What kind of fucking buffet bullshit is this?
Before he took out the people, he left maybe thousands of people that are Americans and people that should be taken out.
Why do you?
No, he did not. He did not leave thousands of people who should have been taken out that are Americans who are stuck there. No, I mean, nobody is even asserting that. It's just nonsense. But it sounds like that some sort of militaristic, we're not leaving a person behind. Yeah, Trump had 4 fucking years to get everybody out. Is anybody saying the embassy staff is left behind? Nope. Anybody saying that Americans who worked with the government or in the military are left behind? Is there anybody left over? Even contractors that America brought in, are they left there? No. So who's left there? More than likely people with dual citizenship who either want to stick around and be part of the government or think they can and aren't leaving for what they believe is positive reasons. They are Afghans who desire to stay because they want to keep fighting the good fight or something. Majority of the folks, though, are in the poppy trade or the military trade and are buying and selling arms.
I think he didn't listen to his military.
Well, I think the military is largely discredited. I think our...
Well, then that's why you didn't listen to him. You didn't hear her, hey, dipshit. Did you hear her question? Listen to her question again and listen to his answer.
Thousands of people that are Americans and people that should be taken out.
Why do you think he didn't listen to his military?
Why do you think he didn't listen to his military? Why wouldn't you listen to the military?
Well, I think the military is largely discredited. I think...
Well, that's a good reason. That's probably, according to the last guy who was in office, who was in charge of the situation in Afghanistan, who did fuck all, according to him, the military doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about, and Biden was smart to finally not listen to them because Trump listened to them and stayed in the whole fucking time.
Top people in the military discredited. He might see that if he understands it.
He might see it. Yeah, they told him the same thing they told you all 4 years, and he went, no, we're getting out.
I'd see that. I wanted to get out also. I remember Millie telling me, because I said, I want every screw, every
nut. And this is the story. Like, yes, every screw, every bolt, which is fucking insane. What are you going to fly over with a giant magnet after everything's been taken out? And by the way, what he meant was, I wanted to kneecap the Afghan military so the Taliban could come in quicker. Because that's what this means. That's what that sentence means. There is no other way to take his whole, I wanted to take out everything we brought in, every nut, every screw, every bolt, everything, right? That's what he's saying. There is no other way to read that than I wanted to leave the Afghan military with fucking nothing. Nothing. So what are they fighting back against the Taliban with or ISIS-K with? What is the Afghan military ever going to do? He was going to leave May 31st every nut, every bolt, every piece of gear. The gear we left behind was for the Afghan military. It was not top of the line. It was all second tier. And the military stuff that was on it, they took off. We took our guns. They threw thermite grenades and shit. And he's lying about our servicemen and women who did that good work on their way out of town. When it was obvious the military wasn't going to use the gear. When they were leaving a place. If it looked like they were, and we were leaving, then they left the shit intact, relatively. But this is what he means every time. Remember that. Every time this dipshit says, I wanted every nut, every bolt, every screw. What he was saying is, I wanted to kneecap the Afghan military on the way out the door so the Taliban had an easier time so that my friends at Shi or any of these like paramilitary groups that I'm aligned with that are going to, side with the Saudis and allow me to make all these backdoor deals so I can have Trump Tower Qatar. I want them to, I'm making a deal with them.
every nut, every tank. I want to take the tents, you know, the big tents that hold the...
Jesus, they're called Quonset huts or hangars. You know, the big tents. Why the fuck do we need to have soldiers in the line of fire dismantling tanks and tents and pulling down, like,
equipment and the planes? I want everything out. Getting the planes out, you just fly them into Pakistan and then take them over to our country. So easy. They left everything.
They didn't leave everything. They took all of our stuff. They left the stuff that the Afghan military was going to use.
But I remember Milley saying, and he told me this, and I lost a lot of respect when he said it. So,
for him, he means, but that's a Freudian slip.
We'll save money if we leave the equipment. I said, save money if we leave a $50 million airplane or a $10 million tank? You think we're saving money by not putting it into a plane or flying it out? I said, what is...
She doesn't understand. It's terrible. Who is this man? Clearly he's an SJW. I don't know how he got those ribbons on his jacket, but they're clearly not deserved. We have to, if we have a $10 million plane in there that we've given to the Afghans to use to fly their own missions, we have to take it out so they can't use it to fly their own missions. Otherwise, the Taliban will have an easier time getting through. We just, all right.
I mean, sir, it's cheaper to leave it than it is to take them. And I said, that's a fool talking. No, when Milley said that, I lost such respect for him. I said, give it to me again. Tell me again. I want to hear it one more time. And he said that. I really lost a lot of respect for him.
We've got a school board controversy.
Edit, by the way. There we go. Another edit. They cut out some either ramble extra part, or they fixed it, or went back, or moved a hair out of her face, or something.
Feeds into the Virginia gubernatorial race. But more important is the fact that we are now at a point in American history where parents are being referred to as domestic terrorists.
Wrong. Domestic terrorists are being referred to as domestic terrorists if their reasoning for threatening someone's life or threatening to blow up a school or threatening to shoot an administrator is because they're a parent. That doesn't matter. Domestic terrorism is the manipulation of other people for political reasons using fear and the threat of violence. And if you're doing that, that's what makes you a domestic terrorist. Just being an asshole at a school board meeting does not mean you're a domestic terrorist. No one's even remotely asserting that. This is bullshit. This is gaslighting. This is attempting to make an enemy out of the U.S. government to a group of people instead of going, there are people among you who obviously have a gripe or something that we're going to have to address because your kids go to this school and we'll have to deal with that. And then there are people walking up to cars and saying, I know where you live. You're dead, you fucker. And that's going to get you a phone call from the FBI. And if you can't make that distinction, what you're saying is there should be no distinction. What Jeanine Pirro is saying is that the average citizen who has a grievance with their school board or what have you is equivalent to a domestic terrorist and therefore should take up arms to protect themselves. Because if they lock up the person making the real threats, it's the same as threatening to lock up people who aren't making threats, and therefore there's a threat. Language is violence. Everything that they say about the left is true of them. There you go.
By the National School Board Association. They took it back after the outrage. But you've got an Attorney General, Merrick Garland, who's ready to deploy national law enforcement.
By the way, they didn't take it back. They clarified.
Supervise what's going on in local jurisdictions, which is a job for the sheriffs and the local police.
Unless they're coordinating using the internet. And people are telling these people to go to their school boards and threaten people's lives, in which case it is a coordinated domestic terror attack, or has the potential for being one. It is local. It's a local crime. It's murder. If somebody kills somebody because of something that's going on in their school board, it's a state problem. But if they were coordinating with a group of other people who were saying we need to all show up on our school board day and do this, then that's when the feds would get involved. Or if they're trying to enforce by threat of violence something that takes away the rights of kids in a particular school district that other kids in other school districts who don't have these loonies in there have, then that's when the federal government, I don't know why I'm even worrying about this.
He is doubling down. We heard the hearings this week.
I've been watching the school board hearings more.
Yeah, totally. I guarantee he's been watching videos of them, just the whole thing, more closely than what?
Than I ever have, to be honest.
Right.
And it's so interesting.
Yeah,
the parents are incensed. they're not terrorists. They're just people that are so upset. They're angry, they're hurt, they're crying because their children are.
Yeah, it's kind of like the January 6th was a peaceful day of love, guys. It was a loving, peaceful day of loving peacefulness and love. And they were going up there and they just loved our democracy. That's why they shit in the Capitol and smeared it on the walls. That's why they carried a Confederate flag. It was out of love for the flag of the United States. That's why they brought a Confederate flag in there, to show their love for Old Glory. That's what it was. And of course, that they were lovingly smashing in windows and lovingly creating a heave-ho team to crush cops. And they were lovingly tasing police officers. You know how they back the blue.
Being taught things that, in our opinion, in my opinion, in a vast majority of the people in this country's opinion, they don't want their children to hear about this stuff.
Well, hearing about something is different than indoctrination or teaching something, but they don't want to hear about it. Hear about it?
Want to go back to reading, writing, and arithmetic, and they want to hear that black people are good, and they want to hear that white people are good.
Yes.
Is that what it? Yes, reading, writing, arithmetic, and that black and white people are good. Just teach that. Remember when you used to have like black and white people are good class? Is he singularly the most infantile person who's ever had his hands on the levers of power? Holy shit. Oh yeah, I saw the Ricky Schroeder thing with 1111. Yes, we must muster. Jesus Christ.
This is the division that's being caused by these programs are just terrible.
The amazing part.
It's terrible. It's a terrible thing. This asshole doesn't sound exactly like somebody who's uninformed in an argument, but wants to be like, hey guys, me too.
This is the National School Board Association who drafted this letter. Ends up, the administration promotes the head of that association, gives him a plum job. We now know that there was coordination between the Biden administration and the National School Board Association to get that letter to the Attorney General so they could start going after parents.
Yes, you see, if an organization like that looks over the health, safety, and welfare of all the teachers in the country finds out that there's a coordinated threat attack against teachers by groups of QAnon nutcases and maggots, they're going to, it's a federal issue because it's happening in multiple states and it seems coordinated. They're going to write a letter to the DOJ and they're going to reach out to the president through the education secretary, and they're going to coordinate that to deal with a problem before it ends up being a justified school shooter situation, which is their concern.
The saddest part of all this is that there was a young girl raped. The school board knew about it. The superintendent lied about it.
This is the Loudon story, by the way.
And now we've got a gubernatorial race in Virginia. It will be a forecast to 2022, the midterm.
And by the way, the girl who was sexually assaulted by a kid who said he was non-binary, who was sneaking into the bathroom and stuff, is exactly why you need more codified laws, and why the simple assertion of gender for whatever reason is, while it's your intrapersonal right, it does not materially affect your right to go certain places, and that's what the concern was. So more codified laws, and they need to think this stuff through deeper, because it goes beyond just interpersonal reactions to things that happen in private, in places where genitals are exposed. So, especially in schools. That has nothing to do with the rest of the violent threats going on in these schools, especially when most of them have to do with their perception of either CRT or Marxism or whatever.
How do you see Youngkin doing against McAuliffe next Tuesday?
I think he's going to do very well. Look, McAuliffe made a tremendous mistake, but it's really probably not a mistake from his standpoint. He believes it.
Right.
He said the parents have nothing to do with what their children are going to learn. They have nothing to do with it. I heard that statement. I said, is that going to be bad? Is that going to be like deplorables? You remember when Hillary made the statement deplorables? I said, that's not a nice word. And it blew up. I think.
Is it? Because she distinctly made the difference between Republicans, people who just simply support conservative ideas you could actually reach out to, and assholes who thought your pussy tape on Access Hollywood was actually a reason for voting for you.
This is going to cause him tremendous problems come Tuesday.
Do you think Youngkin's going to win?
I think he's a good man, and I think he's a successful man.
But so I'm not going to go to Virginia and do a rally for him or anything, because it will fuck his chances.
He loves Virginia. He loves the
win?
country. I think he should win. I mean, he should win. I'll be honest. My base has to turn out. If
My base. Wow. My base has to turn out. Do you hear that, Republicans? You done, son. My base has to turn out. To do what? Vote in an election that won't even be fair because it can't be? What do you think, Democrats are just they've stolen all the other elections. Why, they're just gonna stop, not steal this one? Yeah, that's a great reason to come out. If anybody stays home because they're like, screw it, the elections, like, we need to fix 2020 and all that shit, it's gonna be because of him. And that's his base.
turns out, he's going to win. And I hope they turn out. I really want them to turn out.
It's interesting, don't you think, that they are now referring to Youngkin as a Trump acolyte, using you as a way to get the Democrats to come out and vote?
Well, I think it backfires. It's because I think that gets the base to come out and vote by doing that, by hooking me with him.
The base? Oh, you mean my base. You mean his base. I see.
As much. And I know him a little bit, but I really know him as a good person. You know, the last person that ran as a Republican did not embrace Trump in Virginia.
Right.
He got killed. He was just absolutely destroyed. And I think if my base doesn't come out, he can't win.
Do you see?
Base has to come out very strongly.
Do you see yourself?
Oh, I see. So he's doing this interview because he can't do a rally there. He's just bank shotting this shit through his viewers of Fox News in Virginia. Because he knows if he shows up, it's going to screw the whole pooch. So, because it'll get general attention in the electorate and scare all the Dems into voting. So if he just goes on Jeanine Pirro, it'll just narrowcast. You know how a lot of people like Sean Spicer and other people, when they would go on camera, they would be talking to an audience of one. They'd be talking to Trump himself. This is Trump talking to his base singularly while dodging other people who won't watch a Jeanine Pirro show.
The kingpin for elections going forward.
Well, something has happened, and this is not from an egotistical standpoint.
Yeah.
It's a great honor because it's never happened before. Anybody. If I endorse somebody, they win.
If I endorse somebody, they win. So that's why you're not endorsing Youngkin, because you're not sure he's going to win. So what you mean is, if somebody tells you the person's going to win, then you endorse them.
If I endorse somebody, they win. I think I'm 148-2. That's a pretty good number.
You endorsed Youngkin.
And I did endorse Youngkin, and we're going to see. I hope it's not going to be 3. Okay, do you understand that?
Yeah.
I did. I endorse him strongly. He's a good man. He wants to do the right job. He's a sane person. These people are insane.
Let's talk about inflation. You talked about...
That was an edit. Look at that. What did he say after that Fox had to cut it out? Watch this.
He's a sane person. These people are insane.
Let's talk about inflation.
Look at that. Insane. Click like that. And they cut to her and slid that point out. They just simply cannot run a whole interview.
Talked about how you left this country in great shape. We now have inflation.
Yeah, great shape. Great shape. Because, and by the way, don't fault her. Jeanine Pirro thinks that over 600,000 dead Americans is great shape. Jeanine Pirro thinks that half of the electorate not choosing to get vaccinated in a pandemic out of fealty to a fake billionaire is great shape. Apparently, the wall was fantastic and in great shape until Trump left, and now it's porous bullshit.
5.4%. Now the prices of beef are up 17.6%.
17% on beef? Wait a minute. Who sold China the largest order of beef in our nation's history last summer while Americans were in food lines? I can't remember.
American families spending an extra $175 a month. Gas prices are up to $7 in California, $5 in...
$7? What are you talking about? Like the gallon rate when you return a rental car?
Yeah. We can't afford these people. And Joe Biden, when he was asked about gas prices, what he's going to do about it, he says, I don't see anything that's going to significantly reduce gas prices in the near future. Incredible. He doesn't know.
No, he doesn't have any idea. Look.
Great. Tell us what you would do. And this is like, I would allow drilling in Anwar, which wouldn't affect the oil and gas supply for at least 3 years.
One of the things I was most proud about, our country became energy independent.
Especially during COVID when no one was fucking going anywhere.
We didn't need the Middle East. We didn't need Russia. We didn't need anybody. We had our own. We had more than them. We were number one.
Everybody had more than everybody. Gas, like oil was negative $30 a barrel. Negative $30 a barrel. Now, that happened while Trump was president. Now, if you were president, any of you, regular chatters or, the maggots, Trumpsters, and trolls among us, if you were president and somebody came in and said, oh my God, oil is negative $30 a barrel. They are paying the Saudis, the Russians, everybody. They've got tankers full of oil just floating with no place to offload. Would you not go, all right, immediately fill all of our nation's oil reserves right now? Order a buy on it right now, right this second, negative 30. Even if it goes lower, it's an immaterial thing. They're literally paying us $30 to bring it here and pour it into something. Hold on to it. Fill the national reserves at negative 30. I mean, what is there an easier decision during your presidency? Think of one. Your energy secretary comes in and says they're literally selling oil for negative $30. They will pay us to take it. Would you not make that decision? Of course you would. Immediately. Did he? No. He waited till the oil price went back up. Yeah.
Far over Saudi Arabia and you know this, and Russia. Number one by far. I had the pipelines going, Keystone XL.
I had the pipelines going. Canadian oil never got finished, didn't affect the amount of oil and gas we have in the country at all.
Pipeline. Amazingly, I ended the Russian pipeline. I was not.
He did not end the Russian pipeline, or no one could have restarted it. And by the way, it's still not up. Let's see. Let's try to do this in here. Let me see real quick. New window. Run this over here. Beg your pardon. Nord Stream pipeline. Okay, news. Mm-hmm. I mean, do we just assume that he thinks nobody's gonna fucking check ever? Seriously. Yes, exactly. Trump told Saudi Arabia and Russia to produce more oil. Or actually to reduce their production for a while and until the price went back up and then produce more. Amid an energy crunch, Russia, one of Russia's largest natural gas pipelines, began pulling gas out of Western Europe back eastward because they are having an energy problem in Russia. They are also having to have a national holiday. Here you go. Boop. Financial Times. Ukraine gas chief urges Europe to resist Russian pressure on Nord Stream 2. Kyiv wants EU to reject approval for gas pipeline, which would deprive it of transit fees. Whoop. That's still not happening. What if Biden started the pipeline, then how can anybody keep it from starting? It's just fucking dumb. Like all of this is, and he needs, and by the way, he looks fantastic. Great lighting. His eyes don't look bloodshot and fucked up at all. I don't know what this pink situation under his eyes. I don't know what the fuck choice they made on filter in this, but Christ almighty.
To Russia. I got along well with Russia. I got along.
Yes, you did. It's like, every time he talks about Russia, it's like walking by a fountain and need to pee all of a sudden.
With Putin, but they weren't happy with Trump. I can tell you that.
No, they weren't. Because you told them you had the power to do certain things and you fucking well didn't. The Senate put sanctions on Russia and he stopped them for as long as he could, but ultimately they have to go through.
Biden opened up this big, massive pipeline all over Europe, but he closed
all over Europe. Jesus.
The XL, and I have to say, because you heard it 1,000 times.
Yeah.
More importantly, we're energy independent no longer. I was so proud of that. First time really in history that we.
Yeah, it was especially the part where no one was using oil and gas, so therefore we had excess. Like every fucking body in the whole world.
Say 75 years, but I don't believe we were ever energy independent.
It was big.
It was huge. It was big. It was big. It was amazing how you could be energy independent even when people are staying home all the time, never commuting to work, and having to have DoorDash show up. I would think that DoorDash and Uber Eats would have taken up all that.
Energy independent. We were doing so much. The prices, it was $1.87 a gallon. Okay, if you look at the numbers,
crazy.
And now, yes,
crazy. It's amazing how low gas prices go when no one is driving. It was -30 a barrel for oil, fucko. Of course, it was $1.80. It's amazing it wasn't 75 cents a gallon.
They had in a certain section of California $7.70. It's always the lead. Yeah. It's going to follow, and it's going to go a lot higher than that.
Hold on. I need to know what he's talking about in particular. So let's see. California, $7 gas. So it goes to Gorda, I see. There is one gas station in Gorda. The story you may have claims there's a gas station in California charging more than $7 a gallon. It's true. The only gas station in a remote Central Coast community of Gorda is selling regular gasoline for $7.59 a gallon. Premium is $8.50. The town is known for having some of the highest prices in the country. In Salinas, California, let's see, in 2019, wait a minute. In July 2019, before COVID, in Salinas, California, it says the Americo gas station in the same town charged $11.75 for a single gallon of gas. A sign at the gas station notes the nearest gas station is 40 miles away to the north and 12 miles to the south. So basically, they're just gouging. Do you think he's going to bring up, holy shit, do you think he's going to bring up that that gas was $11.75 in the same town in 2019? Shit. Congratulations, Joe Biden. You've, in spite of everything, in the middle of all this stuff, you've caused the gas price in this town to drop by a quarter. 25% drop. Plus. Seriously. I mean, they literally, did they just float on the idea that nobody fucking looks? Maggots, Trumpsters, trolls. You're okay with this? You're okay with this asshole saying, oh my God, I can't believe, in the middle of, as we're recovering from the pandemic. We are recovering from a pandemic. Everybody knows we are. There's supply chain problems all over the world. The entire world is dealing with this shit. There are energy problems in China. They're buying up every fucking thing. Russia's having the same problem. Russia, like I showed you earlier, is literally keeping their natural gas for themselves because they need it, because the prices are so high there. They can no longer, it's forced energy independence so that the people don't turn on Putin and kill him. And that's the world right now. After COVID, as we're still in it, by the way, we're still dealing with it. We're still trying to reach herd immunity. Large swaths of the world don't have anywhere close to, a herd immunity in their vaccination cycle. Like all through Europe, they're trying to do it. Africa, China, all these areas are fucked up. Russia literally just put a full week of paid work. Everybody's off work simply because their COVID rate's so high right now. And as bad as that is, this little town, one town, is charging $7.59 a gallon for gas and $8.50 for premium. Meanwhile, in 2019, remember when Trump at the beginning of the pandemic says, I wish we could just go back to last year. Last year things were going, and then COVID hit us and everything, went to shit. Right? I mean, that was the whole goddamn story. And look what we have. In 2019, this very same town that they're claiming as a bellwether, as an indicator, was selling gas for $11.75 a gallon. Now, is Jeanine Pirro aware of this? Fuck no. She doesn't care. Is Trump aware of this? No. Because he stiff arms any piece of information that goes against his narrative. Dude has people around him punting anything that'll make him feel bad about how dumb he is. $11, same fucking town. Exactly, where's Gorda? One station. Yes, algorithm engagement, thank you. Yeah, how much is gas where you guys are? Let me know. Because I did, most of the time it was $4.59, I think was mainly what I paid coming back and forth from LA to here the last few days. Yeah, $4.10. And the more remote you go or right next to a freeway, they're charging more, which is interesting because it should be a little less expensive because the trucks that bring it don't have to go that far off the interstate. They can get it there fairly quickly. They're just taking advantage of the fact that drivers are there. And especially in the desert, they're going someplace else. Yeah, $11.75, right? This very station that they're saying and he's saying, as goes California, so goes the rest of the country. Well, how come it fucking didn't? Because this station was charging $11.75 in Salinas. Boop. There you go. Surging, hold on. Boop. Hold on. Burp. 1 second. Don't allow. Go away. Thank you. I guess this is just their site. Surging employee vaccination rates indicate mandates are working. Oh, look at that. That kind of eats a narrative too. This is the link that they put in there for that, in that same story. This just goes to the station. But in July 2019, KSBW TV in Salinas, California says the Americo gas station in that town charged $11.75 for a single gallon of gas. Now it's $7.60. Congratulations, Joe Biden, on not having Trump's horrifyingly awful at peak wonderful economy number, even as you're recovering from COVID. Honestly, yeah. So about $3 and change, which is basically a middle zone between the $1.85 that it was during COVID and now, and they're trying to make back their lost revenue, balanced against what they lost during COVID. That's what they're doing. And if they go up any higher, people won't buy gas. They stop driving. They stay home. It's a balancing act. $2.99, $3.39, $3.29. Yeah. And it'll level out and it'll probably end up about $3. Yeah, $4 in Hawaii. That makes sense. It's always more expensive in Hawaii because it's harder to get gas there. There are no refining, there's no refinement plants on the islands that I'm aware of. Not a good idea when you have an active volcano nearby, I suppose. So they have to have, it's all shipped in, therefore the extra cost. It's like airplane food prices. It's not because the food, you're not paying because the food is good. You're paying because you can't step out on the wing and find a food court. Yeah, and by the way, thank you to the maggots and trolls and Trumpsters for all the support you've given us in the algorithm and getting us out there. Don't forget to like and subscribe, give a thumbs up, or if you're a troll, give us a thumbs down. And thank you for writing in the chat, be it on Facebook or twitch.tv/Hal Sparks, where you can subscribe using Amazon Prime, and it doesn't cost you a dime. See, all my economics information is true. Unlike this dipshit and his ball cradler who want to make sure that you stay as dumb as they think you are.
And Biden sent people to go see Russia, Saudi Arabia, and other members of OPEC that we need help because we don't have enough. Now, when you talk...
No, we wanted them to increase supply to Europe so that our companies, Exxon and Chevron and Shell, don't sell the oil that we get from here over there because the prices are so high. See, if they don't produce as much, then our guys, because they're American firms, but they're not patriotic firms. It's not like we'll make $1 less, but we got to sell to America. They don't do that. If the price goes up in Europe, they go right to Europe and sell it. So we want an even amount of production because we're not the only game in town.
About inflation, the biggest factor, in my opinion, is no energy. The trucks, the factories, everything, the deliveries, the planes, everything. It's so energy-based that the energy now is so expensive to get. We don't have enough oil. You know, I filled up the strategic reserves for almost nothing. When oil...
Almost, what, $15 a barrel? It was -30, dumbass. You filled it up for $45 a barrel higher than you needed to. And this wasn't like on a day, like it was like an outlier. Shit was going on for 10 days.
Hit bottom. We were almost empty with the reserves. And no...
Yeah, we were almost empty. Oil prices were -30 a barrel. And this fucko waited till they were like $15, $20 a barrel. Which, by the way, is a price it stayed at for a good long while.
Thought of it. I said, you know, this would be a great time to fill it up. We'll buy it cheap. Never got credit. I don't think anybody's ever mentioned it.
I'm not going to give you credit, fucko, for paying retail when everything was on a wholesale fire sale for weeks.
But I bought 75 million barrels, I believe it was. 75 million barrels.
At how much?
Which is a massive order. It was good for two things. The prices got so low that it was hurting our energy jobs. And we...
Yeah, so he argued for the price to come up before he made that buy. Why the fuck would you do that? It's effectively a tax break. It's not like, oh, I'm going to buy it for -30, hold on to it, and then and then we'll worry about the price going up afterwards. He waited till the price went up because he wanted the government to pay more for those energy jobs because it's effectively socialism. That's what it is. It's like right-wing, materialistic socialism bullshit.
Cheap as hell. And it's now he wants to use that.
Hell is, and for the record, hell is very expensive. It is, in terms of what it takes out of you.
Energy, that oil that I bought at a great price that should be used in cases of emergency, he wants to now drain it so that the prices come down.
But he said...
No, he isn't.
It'll save us about 18 cents a gallon.
It's not 18 cents. No,
he doesn't...
Yes, it is. It's not that kind of an emergency. And this is him not knowing what the fuck she's talking about. She's trying to defend him. She's trying to say he's saying it's only going to save us 18, which it will. That's about it. Unless you dump all of it for free. Because the companies aren't going to sell their oil for cheaper because there's more on the market. There's not enough. So stupid.
It would save. I could get that down within 6 months. I'll bet you I could get it down to $2.50. It's going to be...
Excuse me. Everybody thinks it's going to be down to $2 and something in 6 months. Did he say 6 weeks or 6 months?
18 cents.
He doesn't...
No, it would save. I could get that down within 6 months. I'll bet you I could get it...
Fucko. That's what... Biden said, there's nothing that's going to change the cost by the end of the year, but we'll start seeing it by the spring. That's 6 months, you dipshit. It's exactly what everybody knows that. If I could get in there, I think you let me, I could do what will happen all by itself.
to $2.50. It's going to be over $10.
Doesn't he know how to do it?
Well, I don't think he does, because his answer was...
Yes. Tell him how to do it then. Tell him how to do it. Who cares what his answer is? What's yours? Tell everybody. Tell us all right now. Besides emptying 75 million barrels, which is a fucking like pissing in a hurricane and saying that's why you're wet.
You can get it down a few cents. A few cents? No, you get it down many dollars.
How do you do that?
You get it? Yes, that's a good question. Finally, Janine, how do you do that? A question you should ask your lip plumper when they say, there's a way to do this without looking like a fish.
You have to let the oil companies go back to work. They ended leases. They ended Anwar because of leases.
Anwar. Were we energy independent because of Anwar? No. Is anybody drilling in Anwar? No. As a matter of fact, that's more like R&D development money, and that money they can actually write off in their taxes looking for oil.
Murkowski, who's done a terrible job
in Alaska.
She's not a Republican. She says she's a Republican in Alaska.
Yeah, please. Sorry, I'm going to back up. I didn't mean to interrupt. Please continue to attack Republicans.
Who's done a terrible job
in Alaska.
She's not a Republican. She says she's a Republican in Alaska. Ronald Reagan tried to get it. Bush's tried. Everybody tried to get it. I got it done. It was.
You didn't, though, because somebody else came in and went, it's not worth it. It's a waste of fucking time. And you're going to destroy probably one of the best sources of water we'll have in the future.
Done. Maybe it's bigger than Saudi Arabia. Okay, maybe. They've tried for
maybe, but we won't know until we destroy it.
Many decades to get it done. I got it done. This would have added to our supply.
Well, if they find as much oil as you think there is.
The biggest in the world.
Yes, that's right, V. Gabriel. Nuke the energy. By the way, thank you guys for your support. Like and subscribe with a thumbs up. Don't forget to super chat and all that stuff and help out. There, I keep forgetting to do that.
Now we're not the biggest in the world anymore. We've ended all the leases on government lands that, frankly, were pumping out for years and not hurting it, done in an environmental way. And if you look at natural gas.
No, they didn't. This is just horse shit.
Natural gas is very clean. We got windmill.
Natural gas is very clean. Is as clean as coal, though?
Destroying our landscapes, killing all the birds.
Trump's nose is different, somebody said?
And not necessarily.
You're talking about me.
It's so expensive. And you know where the turbines are made? Every one of them.
China.
Germany and China.
Germany and China. She was not expecting you to say Germany. They're our European partners. And they're white, so oops.
Still ahead, what Donald Trump thinks of Biden and the Dems' vaccine mandates. Plus, his
I'm sure it's going to be fascinating.
On the latest caravan heading towards the southern border and how it can be stopped. Back in a moment.
You treat it like a hurricane. You nuke it, right? You nuke the. Yeah, she is wearing some sort of weird leather supervillain outfit.
Welcome back to Justice. We return now to my exclusive interview with President Donald Trump.
She literally looks like she's wearing a fetish slaughterhouse apron.
Covering everything from Dr. Fauci to the latest migrant caravan headed our way. Take a look. Let's talk about what's going on in this country with the firing of police officers, firemen, nurses, the ones who were our heroes. They were on billboards all over the country. And now what we've got are, we're talking about vaccinating kids who were 5 years old to 12 years old and then forcing them to continue to wear masks. Our heroes are being fired. They're losing their jobs. Are you...
By the way, her heroes, what she's talking about is the January 6th insurrectionists who got Ashley Babbitt killed by pushing her through the window first as, basically as a human shield. And then, of course, we're planning on hanging the vice president.
You didn't fire Anthony Fauci?
Well, it's not because of him they're losing their job. It's because some bad policies that are being made by the Biden administration. But look, if you look at my relationship with Fauci, first of all, he's...
My whole thing is he told me something and I never listened. He's a big promoter and you got to give him credit for being a promoter, but it's the same
like
shit.
for 40 years. So you walk in and, he goes, hi, my name's Tony. Oh, great. Hi, Tony. How you doing? But everything he told me to, suggest.
He didn't, that was his problem. He didn't say sir.
That we do. I didn't do. I went the opposite. He wanted to.
You went the opposite. And somewhere in the order of 780 some odd thousand people have died.
China open. I closed it to China. We would have lost.
Fauci wanted to keep China open?
Oh, yeah, for a long time. And he actually.
Oh, yeah, for a long time. Totally. He totally wanted to.
Said President Trump saved thousands and thousands of lives. I was the only one. I was sitting in a room with many.
Bullshit. Every book, by the way, that's come out, like Azar was the one going, we got to close this thing down. And he wanted to close it just to the travel for like just ethnically Chinese people is essentially it. Poor Chinese people visiting their families and that kind of shit who come over here. They can't fly it. Business China, people from China with business like could go over here to slaughterhouses and all kinds of stuff. We wonder why we had breakouts in those areas. Because you had planes flying directly from China to those places without any vetting whatsoever in the early months of the pandemic, especially.
People. I said, we have to close it to China. I then closed it to Europe because I saw what was going on in Europe.
Except for the UK, because he didn't want to insult Boris, and then that's where we ended up with the UK variant.
We saved thousands of lives. And what I did do, and we won freedom, and we won all of this, and this was a great achievement, though, worldwide, because I think you would have had a 1917 like the Spanish.
Motherfucker! 1918! 1918. Like he never is he ever going to get that? We saw him live checked and he corrected himself for all of 2 fucking seconds.
Where 100 million and maybe 100 million people died. I got the vaccine done. 3 vaccines.
Captain's log.
In less than 9 months. They said it was going to take 5 years and it probably wouldn't get done. I got them done.
Nobody said that.
And they do work and they're great. I'm very proud of them, but people shouldn't be forced to take them.
You must have seen this week.
Edit.
This caravan is coming
the
through
biggest anyone's ever seen.
Yeah.
The biggest. Okay, hold on. We got to be able to find this. Caravan headed for U.S. Border report. Where new migrant caravan sets off for U.S. from southern Mexico. This is September 4th. Let's see. Central American. This is Reuters, October 23rd. This is the newest one. New migrant caravan in Mexico pushes past blockade to head north. These are the folks. Alto represente immigrante. There's a cross there. Obviously, they're going to crucify someone. Here's some Haitian dudes in here, or African-American dudes, or whatever. This is an interesting outfit situation. The pom-pom hairdo. All right. There you go. Lady in a leopard skin strapless, like a spaghetti strap gown. Not exactly the kind of thing you do on a long march. Tapachula, October 20th. Several thousand. What's several? Several means 7 to me until you prove otherwise. It's more than 5, less than 9. Some people among the latest mass movement of migrants trying to pass north through Mexico said they hope to eventually reach the U.S. Some people among the latest mass movement of migrants trying to pass north through Mexico said they hope to eventually reach the U.S. border, where the number of migrants trying to gain entry is already hitting new records. Some 3,000 people, I was way off, including families with young children, began trekking on foot Saturday from Tapachula near the Guatemalan border towards Mexico's capital. One of the caravan's organizers, Ireneo Mujica, said he was leading the group to Mexico City and protested the lack of government assistance in the south, where officials have attempted to contain thousands of migrants and to demand legal documents that would let migrants move freely in the country. So this is a Mexican protest march. Okay. A highway checkpoint in Tapachula with some 400 law enforcement officers aimed to block their path, but many migrants managed to break past, many of them, not all of them, not the whole thing, but okay. A Reuters video showed people carrying backpacks and with children on their shoulders pushing through a cluster of officers in anti-riot gear who attempted to contain the crowd. One family, including a woman and small children, were knocked to the ground in the crush of people, their belongings scattered. Eek. Some migrants who have attempted to leave Tapachula in September to head north were subject to brutal treatment by Mexican officials. I can't imagine why they wouldn't want to stay or why we wouldn't have a remain in Mexico policy, Mexico being such a lovely place. By the way, if you're vacationing in Mexico, I have to ask you, why? Why? Where do you think all the Mexican tax travel money goes to? Why? Go to Puerto Rico. Go to the Virgin Islands. Go to Hawaii, for Christ's sake. I don't get it. And the government's National Migration Institute condemned incidents of violence captured on video. I'm not clicking on that because I'm showing it might end up kind of okay. U.S. authorities arrested more than 1.7 million migrants at the U.S.-Mexico border this fiscal year, the most ever recorded. This isn't the people that got through, by the way. Fiscal year, by the way, ended in October, whatever, or ends the middle October, 15th or something like that. Most ever recorded. Okay. And there you go. So this is the biggest one he's ever seen. Okay. Which apparently is 3,000 people going to the Mexican capital to protest mistreatment by the Mexican government. And some of those people say they want to head north to the American border. Some.
Del Rio. Okay, this caravan that's coming up now is actually fighting with the Mexican National Guard, forcing their way through. How do we stop?
It's not the National Guard. It's anti-riot police, and they're going to the Capitol to complain to the government about how they're being treated as migrants within Mexico. So.
And when they get here, what do Americans do? They're here.
So the wall would have stopped them. So the only...
Yeah, I know. Oh, God. That's an unfortunate freeze frame.
they can do
They're
is to
letting
go.
them in.
I know. The wall...
They're letting them in. They're not letting them in.
Stopped them. The only thing they can do is go to small areas where the wall was going to be completed over the next month. I mean, it would have been completed...
Yeah, it's just that 1 month of wall.
Almost immediately. They just had to finish it.
But now...
Okay, before we start that, let me just tell you, these are rough people. They were going through the Mexican police, who are tough. They're tough police. They were lined up. They thought they could stop them. You look at that front few lines of the people there.
Oh, yeah, let's look at that. Hold on 1 second. Now, I'm going to pull it up on this other side in case something goes... It's really awful, but let's see. Here, Elena. Mm-hmm. There you go. Migrant caravan in Mexico presses on, meets growing resistance. These folks, what? A number of children seeking to cross Mexico. Yeah, they're rough characters, these children. Tuesday, troops from Mexico's National Guard and agents from the National Migration Institute, Imigración Nacional Migrante, I guess, sought to break up the latest caravan. They took, let's see, Mexican government has deployed more troops to its border with Guatemala in a bid to reduce the flow of migrants in recent months, pressuring U.S. officials to take strong action. They took them away. A Guatemalan migrant called Bertha said of her children. Bertha, a mother of 5, declined to provide her surname due to fear of reprisals. She tearfully described how 3 of her young sons were detained by authorities after she left them momentarily with others to go and buy food. The night before, she said one of her daughters was taken from her. Reuters was not able to independently confirm her account, and the INM did not reply to a request for comment. Back up. Del Rio ties a sprawling new thing. Blah, blah, blah. Hold still with your stupid ads. Gee whiz. Okay. Oh, it's on a different page. Beg your pardon. Mexico condemns violent actions by migration agents caught on video. So that's this situation. Mexico's National Migration Institute, INM, condemned the actions of agents caught on video over the weekend, throwing a migrant to the ground and kicking him in the face with the help of National Guard troops. And they're not showing it. All right, it's just the thing. I've reached my free article limit. I beg your pardon, and I'm not paying for this. I'm not paying to fact check him because I don't have to.
On this caravan, a name I came up with because I saw some caravans, but they were tiny, and we ended it. We stopped the caravans. We made sure. Now what's happened is they're talking about.
No, oh, by the way, by stopping the caravans, he meant let COVID run rampant through the United States. So even people fleeing gang violence, drugs, and war zones were afraid to enter the United States. It's a good plan.
Caravan, 120,000 people are going to be for 100. That's like an army. If you look at that front line, they look
120,000. Wait a minute. They said 3,000 in that article. Where's the? Okay, hold on. 120,000 caravan, Mexico. It's got to show up, right? Mexico prepared to offer us. Okay. So I'm having trouble because the must include 120,000 part doesn't show up. New migrant caravan sets off for U.S. from southern Mexico. That's September 4th. And by the way, according to this, only some of those people are going to the United States. The rest of them are going to the capital of Mexico to complain about conditions. Their prospects dim. Haitian migrants strain Mexico's asylum rule. Mexico prepared to offer asylum to 13,000 Haitians. Parents of missing migrants begin Mexican caravan crossing. Clashing. Okay. Troops get in the way of migrant caravan. This is August 29th. Migrant caravan in Mexico. Okay. So this is the whole, let's see this whole business. These are the people. Okay. They're coming through. People are filming this. This dude is going to offer this woman his umbrella, whether she wants it or not. You're wearing sandals for a migrant hike? I'm just saying. Because people join in. That guy's going to Wisconsin. Oh, no, I thought he had a cheese thing on his head. One of those great cheese hats from Wisconsin. Wisconsin should pass those out as rain cover. Chicago. Okay, he's already got a Chicago shirt on. He's going to blend in. She's got her walking down with her. It's amazing. Okay, so here come the guys. What the fuck is with the footage now? Wait a minute. When did it get all like blue gray? I guess the weather would affect the lighting, but this doesn't look like it's managed to look awful at all. Okay, and this is them trying to push through. This is the group they're talking about. Yeah, these folks, are brushing past and fighting with cops and that kind. Oh. That's the guy. That's who they're talking about. That's the kicking in the head, the video, the thing. And those guys who push through, and then they arrest those guys and put them in a van and take them away. While these guys look like villains from Power Rangers, I would go with. Just Oh, look, and RT's putting it together. Thanks, RT. Yeah, the latest video from that business. Okay. Clashes and arrests with troops. So that's who put that there. And by the 120,000, I know you're thinking that looks like about 3,000. And it's the same people shot multiple times to make it look like a lot more people. But then what are you doing? Looking at stuff? Who are you going to believe?
They belong in the NFL. In fact, they should be signed, some of them, for the NFL. You look at...
Well, as long as they don't kneel, for the flag at this point. I mean, obviously they wouldn't because they're fighting like hell just to get through and come to the United States. So second, they probably would appreciate being Americans more than some of the people who are trying to keep them out. But that's another conversation.
Burst through tough Mexican police who tried to stop them. They had no chance. We have to stop them. We can stop them, but we have to get very tough. But we cannot our country is being poisoned. It's being...
Jesus Christ. By the way, all those people are going to the Mexican capital, and they're fighting back against how the Mexican government is treating migrants. So they're sort of like, I don't know, storming the Capitol types. They're like trying to have their s- uh, uno siete insurrecciones. You know what I'm saying?
Poisoned. And you know what else? It's being poisoned also with drugs. We had fentanyl down to the lowest number since its founding because fentanyl.
Yes, remember the founding fathers of fentanyl is one of my favorite Netflix series.
If you look, it's worse than anything. It's the worst.
It's a killer.
Much of it's made in China, and I had him just about stopped. I said, look, we're not doing any business if you're going to. All of a sudden, they're making fentanyl.
What the fuck? Where did that come from? I had him. You mean Xi Jinping? Since when? I mean, we're used to him just kind of trying to rewrite history, but Christ almighty. Why does he drool so much? It's a good question. It's gross. He is very slurpy on this one. Stimulants will make you salivate a lot. So that's why I always have to drink something, because I clearly don't have enough European Sudafed in my system or something to keep me awake and going through most of these shows, I guess. Jesus Christ.
Like crazy. They're sending it through the border. The numbers on
the ports.
Fentanyl have gone up tenfold.
No, the amount of seized fentanyl has gone up, because you can't prove a negative. You can't know how much stuff is getting through. And if you're assuming that more getting caught means more's getting through, that's an assumption about Customs and Border Patrol and those folks, which you pretend to care about and pretend to think are good people until they turn on you. You're basically saying now that you're not in office, they're not doing their fucking job.
Not stopped, but I had it almost stopped. When we would have had the wall completed and a couple of other things, I would have had it down to
a couple of other things, like AI programmed 50 cals that auto load.
It's nothing.
The moat gators
and drugs generally are pouring through our border. People that are very sick.
Oh, dude, the slurping. Now you got me thinking about it all the time. Son of a bitch. Yeah, the sniffing's bad enough.
Drugs generally are pouring through our border. People that are very sick.
That wasn't a sniff. That was a slurp.
Are coming into our country. Very contagious diseases. Many different diseases.
Many.
Not just.
This is the Haitians have AIDS thing.
But by the way, COVID is peanuts compared to some of these diseases. They're pouring through our country.
Oh, the slurping. This is the first time it's really stood out as a thing. It's getting to me.
They are destroying these leaders, if you call them leaders, they're destroying our country.
Well, and the saddest part of it is they're here. And if it's 1.7 million that we've counted, I imagine it's just as many who got through it who were runaways.
You can multiply times 7.
Right.
I don't know if you know.
You can multiply by 7. 7 million people have gotten through because why? Because she said 1.7, and so he's saying you can multiply by 7. Just talk right out of your ass.
That number. So if they have 1.7, they say you multiply times 7. That's the number that come in unchecked, totally unchecked.
Really?
And the other thing, so you're talking about.
Really? Really? I've been in the news and on Fox forever, and we do nothing but shit on immigrants, and I've never heard that number. Times 7?
You're talking about tens of millions of people over a relatively short period of time.
Multiply 7 times 1.7 just for us. Just do it. It's an important number to you. Just do basic multiplication. I want to see it.
Over a 2-year period of time, we would have more than 10 million people coming into our country. Our country can never be the same.
Right.
Our country is changed already.
Do you have a plan to go to the border to boost morale there?
Well, I've gone to the border many times. I mean, I don't.
Are you going again?
Well, I just got.
Yeah. I don't. Why would he go? How would it boost morale? What the fuck are you talking about? Is that why the fentanyl and the people are getting through? And it's just, these people were stopping them. Nothing has changed materially in policy. You're vetting people, but that doesn't mean you're not stopping the people who are illegal, who are just crossing. doing the vetting on families and children is not the same as letting everybody through. So is the Customs and Border Patrol and ICE and all those people that he used to just, fillet on a weekly basis, are all of a sudden, do they just suck at their jobs? Or are they no longer defending America because let's go Brandon?
I was there recently. I saw what Biden said. He was there sometime, but he wasn't there.
2008, but
he wasn't there. I don't think he was
said
even.
He doesn't have time.
No, I've been to the border many times. I don't think it helps for me at this moment to go. I'm not the president.
Really? Yeah, it doesn't help. You can go look at it and see if you're telling the truth.
He's the president. He's got to go to the border. The Border Patrol people are incredible.
Why? 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 Why do you have to go to the border to know the problem of the border? Is it feel different when you're down there and you see a herd of people versus seeing them from the sky? As a matter of fact, you might have a stronger feeling about it if you just look at it from the air. If you just look at it from like satellite imagery or the figures. You might go down there and go, oh, these are just people. You know what? I think you guys are overreacting.
And when I was there a few months ago, I was there like 3 months ago. They're so incredible. ICE people, and they're tough people. They have to be tough people.
Have to be.
They
You're
love
right.
our country. You know, they really
But not enough to continue doing their job after you left, because apparently when they mean our country, they mean Trumpistan.
want to do their job. That's the amazing thing. It would be easier if they didn't. They want to do their job. They're tough people, but they're great patriots, and they're being treated with tremendous disrespect.
Still ahead, President Trump responds to the escalating crimes.
So I'm sorry. They're not doing their job because they're feeling disrespected. And you're trying to tell me someone like that, I mean, I don't think they're actually doing that. I think that's a total mischaracterization and bullshit. But if they are doing that, you're going to tell me that that's a person that loves their country? I don't care. I'm letting fentanyl and terrorists through now. I don't give a shit. If you don't, like, what kind of delicate snowflake lunatic would think like that?
In America. Plus, he has a message for Hunter Biden that you don't want to miss.
Is he going to buy one of his paintings?
Welcome back to Justice and our exclusive interview with President Donald
By the way, thanks for the graphics. It was great. And I'm glad it starts with a bell like it's a boxing match.
Trump.
Please come back to this interview with both of you wearing gloves with mouth guards in.
Now tackle crime in America, and of course, that includes Hunter Biden. I want to talk about my favorite subject.
Go ahead.
Crime. They are trying to defund the police, demoralize the police.
No, they're not. No, they aren't. And she means Democrats when she means they, or the Biden administration. No, they're not. Matter of fact, the Republicans voted against extra funding for the police. No one's trying to defund the police. There are some movements to demilitarize, and there are on a local level some areas where they're trying to do their internal, like Minneapolis directly, the city itself. And it didn't work, and they're refunding the police. Nobody's passing this as a federal program. Not anyone. But it works as a good sales pitch.
They're now firing police.
No, they're not. No, they're not. They're letting anybody go in the police department that won't get vaccinated. And you think street cops or detectives are the only people there that do that? You don't think that they would let custodial staff at a police precinct or anybody like who simply answers phones there or whatever? You don't think they'd let those people go too if they wouldn't get vaccinated? And by the way, I think local judges in a couple of places said that they have to get vaccinated, but they don't have to do it right away.
We've got shocking headlines from everything Biden releasing a gender equity plan to make sure that women are released, eliminating cash bail and all kinds.
That make sure that women are released? How's that what do you mean gender equity so that women are released? Arguably, if you wanted gender equity, you'd want to add 3 to 7 years to every woman's sentence. Because women are sentenced 3 to 7 years less than their male counterparts. So if you really wanted gender equity, that's how you would get it. I'm pretty sure that's not what the Biden administration's asking for.
of crimes. And two San Francisco prosecutors have quit. Chesa Boudin is the DA there. I just want to take 1 second and I want to read this one case
Well, they
to
quit
you.
in protest because they say what's going on over here.
Yeah,
Sorry,
because he's not making arrests, but he's letting people out. But in one case,
Well, he doesn't make arrests. He's not prosecuting some people. And part of it was because they were doing a bigger sting on the organization that was doing all the shoplifting, and they actually got them. So they let some of the people out, and they went right back to stealing, and then they took them to the people who were coordinating the whole thing, and it was the largest mob-style shoplifting enterprise in the country, and they busted them.
and charged with robbery, 8 prior felony convictions, was released early by the DA, Chesa Boudin, in San Francisco, Nancy Pelosi's playground. He's then arrested 4 more times for other crimes, but the district attorney's office never charged him. 9 months after he was set free, he hit and killed 2 women while driving drunk in a stolen car. This is America today. What can we do about it?
Hold on. Okay. Now he'll go to jail, and rightly so. But the idea that somehow his robbery things or his burglary things or the earlier stuff when he was younger, and God knows how long, I don't know the story of this guy. Shall we look him up? Let's see. Hold on.
He hit and killed 2 women.
Hold on. Was her name?
DA Chesa Boudin in San Francisco, Nancy Pelosi's playground. He's then arrested 4 more times.
Hold on. Let's see. San Francisco man, stolen car, drunk, kills 2 women. There we go. This will come up. Let's see. Two women killed in Soma hit and run. Suspect identified as parolee with rap sheet. This was a New Year's Eve hitting. Trump was still president when this happened. Just for the record, just in case it matters to you, just in case it might have sounded like she was saying this is something new to the Biden administration or new to how Biden has directed Democrats to do things. This happened while Trump was president. Okay. A parolee with an arrest record for armed robbery and burglary. Okay, so he was on parole. So he had been let out of prison, not jail. Local versus state, whatever. Allegedly stole a car on New Year's Eve that was then involved in a hit-and-run collision in San Francisco's Soma neighborhood that left 2 female pedestrians dead. So he hit these 2 women while he was drunk. The collision happened at 4 p.m., at Mission and 2nd Streets. The police arrived to find 2 seriously injured victims, one of whom was pronounced dead at the scene. Suspect fled the scene on foot after crashing the vehicle, but was then soon detained. 45-year-old Troy McAllister of San Francisco is the subject. He was arrested on Thursday on a variety of charges, including voluntary manslaughter, possession of a stolen vehicle, leaving the scene of an accident, burglary, DUI, possessing a gun with a large capacity ammunition magazine, which, by the way, is something that Janine would not want him charged with. For the record, the vehicle McAllister was driving was apparently stolen just minutes before, around 4 p.m. after striking another vehicle, and then the 2 women. McAllister allegedly ran out of the car and into a nearby commercial building where they located him. Video from the scene posted a shirtless man being handcuffed by police. That's this business right here. This dude's pointing. So there we go. Some guy. And there's the police. This is where the accident happened. There's the dude. Shirtless. Well, there you go. So this guy, for the record, long parolee, long rap sheet, had a gun he wasn't allowed to have because of a felony. Stole a car, smashed it into another car, and hit 2 women and killed them. Now Janine would have a case if this dude was not charged after this. But like burglary or some, like them not charging him for potential theft because they didn't think they had enough evidence or they didn't think it rose to the necessity of taking him off the street as a parolee or what have you is a whole different thing. But this is the dude they're talking about. It's the folks walking around. There's the cops. This is the whole section. Apparently, there are no cops in San Francisco, and no one can do it. Okay. Yeah. So, just for the record, the idea is that because the DA didn't charge him, that they're responsible for everyone downstream if this person acts again. Okay? If this person does something again. Now, this is a weight, I believe, all judges carry and all parole committees and clemency hearing people carry more than anyone else. This is the thing they must weigh the most. Will this person reoffend? Because there's no way those folks don't carry around the deaths of people who are killed by folks that reoffend. And if you shrug them off, I don't think you should be in a position of power. But yeah, Janine's not a judge anymore. They just call her that. She's judge like Judy is.
Other crimes, but the district attorney's office never charged him. 9 months.
Well, they had that discretion if they believed there wasn't enough evidence to charge him.
After he was set free, he hit and killed 2 women while driving drunk in a stolen car. This is America today. What can we...
No, it fucking is not. Hold on. Like, I get being upset about this particular individual case, and talking about it in those terms is reasonable. Let's say, like, DUI statistics. Okay. 2021 drunk driving statistics. This is just general without the dude being a criminal or whatever. These are our key drunk driving statistics. Year to total. Let's see. We have... drinking and driving kills more than 10,000 people a year. Though that number has decreased in recent years, alcohol-related traffic fatalities make just under 30% of all traffic fatalities. Beyond the fact that, you know, if he was sober, would he have hit anybody when he was stealing the car? That's kind of part of the case she's making, that he was drunk and stole a car. Whatever. Okay. Total traffic fatalities. Let's see. 2021. Do we have a latest drunk driving statistics? Gender, significant factors. These rage. Okay. Age, gender, number of people. Okay. These are the states with the highest amount of annual alcohol-related fatalities are Texas, California, and Florida. 2 Trump states to one Biden state. Let's put it that way. According to NHTSA data from 2018, there were 1,677 annual drunk driving fatalities in Texas, 1,240 in California, and 958 in Florida in 2018. The states with the lowest amounts were Rhode Island, Vermont, and North Dakota, low population states, of course. But the number of fatalities involving alcohol is the crucial point. Alaska, 80 fatalities, 36 of them were alcohol related. That jacks their number up high. So while California is actually 5% lower, 10% lower than Alaska, much bigger state. Let's see, Florida, 31%. Texas, let's see, Texas be down here, 46%. Shit, Texas, you're right up there with Alaska. Let's see. 2019, there were 36,096 deaths. Let's see. 2019, alcohol-impaired traffic fatalities, 10,142. Total traffic fatalities, 36,096. Let's see. How to prevent drunk driving and all this. Okay. I don't see the, let's see, drunk driving statistics 2021. Gender. Men are 4 times involved in 4 times the amount of drunk driving accidents as women. Men account for 80% of drunk driving fatalities. Most of the time you kill yourself. Let's see. Yeah, it doesn't say the one for this year. but you're averaging about 36,000. This is drunk driving statistics on this. Let's see. Parolee reviolation murder rate. Parolee system could see changes after review of murder cases. Harrisburg, and this is 2019. Harrisburg, PA, an internal review of Pennsylvania's parole system spurred by 5 parolees getting charged in quick succession with homicide is in theory acknowledging a long-standing complaint of parole agents over a long-term policy shift designed to help more parolees succeed on the outside. Law enforcement groups largely welcome the acknowledgement of the State Department of Corrections with the Pennsylvania District Attorneys Association calling it a significant recognition. Parole agents, however, were skeptical it will change a system that they say over the past decade has stripped them of discretion to pull a potentially dangerous parolee off the street. The department's recommendation, one of 15 in its August 28 report, comes after changes in the law and internal policy of balloon parolee ranks and helped drive down Pennsylvania's prison population. It asked lawmakers to update a 2012 law and add a trigger for automatic 6-month to 1-year jail sentence for a parolee who continually ignores parole conditions such as going to treatment or counseling. The 2012 law already has 5 such triggers, including threatening behavior or possession of a weapon. Corrections Secretary Johnny Wetzel, which you have to catch him with. The hard part with the weapons thing is that you have to find him with the weapon, right? I wanted to know, what are all these recommendations? If you're going to make major changes, let's get them on the table. What emerged was that agents didn't feel they can take action unless a parolee's record meets the triggers already in state law. The goal of this recommendation said is not to jail parolees for innocuous parole violations like positive urine tests for marijuana, but failing to comply with treatment, absent anything else, we should have the ability to put someone in prison. Parole is distinct from probation. Parolees are released from jail, from state prison after they reach their minimum sentence, but they remain under parole until they finish their maximum sentence date. Technically, parolees are still wards of the state. That just allowed out. It's like house arrest with a broader opening. That's different from probation. Probation is we're just going to watch you, but you can, if you break another law, we'll take that into what you've been on parole for or probation for into consideration when we sentence you for that thing or charge you with that thing. And so, whereas a parolee, you're basically supposed to still be in jail. So anyways, this one particular case, this is Biden's America all of a sudden, is what she's saying.
About this.
This is America today. It's only going to get worse because you have all of these.
It's only going to get worse. Boy, are they going to be upset.
Millions of people. Many of them are the worst people. The worst people.
Sorry, how many people?
What can we do about this?
This is America today. It's only going to get worse because you have all of these millions of people. Many of them are the worst people. The worst people. Somebody would say, "Oh, that's not a nice thing to say." Some of these people are the absolute worst people.
But the DAs are the worst.
They don't.
Well, no, they aren't. And this dude's not an immigrant. The guy they're talking about, this fucking dude, I'm gonna guess that Troy McAllister of San Francisco is not from Guatemala. I'm not up on my Guatemalan Christian names, but McAllister doesn't sound like it. Troy McAllister, as a matter of fact, I was fairly certain when we saw the video would be a white dude with that name. Just, knee jerk. But he's not. But even still, he's not a migrant. He didn't come up with a fucking caravan. He's born here. He's a citizen. Like, what the? Yeah, this is the San Francisco parolee accused. Okay, back on. Like, shit. Despite several recent arrests. And again, this is something you make in a judgment when you vote for a judge or a DA. It matters. And in many ways, a DA shouldn't be turning assholes like this loose that easily. They shouldn't be flippant with the law. But what the fuck does this have to do with fucking Guatemalan women trying to carry their kids north to the border? Jesus.
All they want to do is indict Republicans. That's all they do. They want to go after Republicans. They use the DAs, the attorney generals, and the federal government Now, sometimes you have fair people, sometimes you don't. They're good at destroying Republicans. They're horrible at destroying crime. They're letting these people that are killers go out. You look at...
God damn, it's like he's slurping all the time. His eyes are watery. What drug is this?
You look at New York, what's gone on with the crime in New York. New York is like a different place. Here's the good news.
Okay, so, sorry. New York crime statistics. NYPD. NYPD announces citywide crime statistics for August 2021. Murder, shooting incidents, and overall crime declines compared to August 2020. Son of a bitch. But wait a minute. I thought... Yeah, you're seeing that. Yeah, that's what that says. Biden's America. You look at New York and can I get a chance? Poll 29 to 36 on Trump admits. I'm sorry, say again. Wait, let me scroll back down to this. Somebody said, missed that part. I got to scroll my chat down. I mean, come on. How easy was that? And that's not, I'm not pulling fucking Fox News or Newsmax or MSNBC or whatever. This is the police department. You know, all the guys who like applaud Trump when he walks into the fucking precinct, right? For the month of August 2021, the number of murders and shooting incidents in New York declined compared to August 2020. Murder decreased by 8%. 53 versus 58, while shooting incidents decreased by 30%. 167 versus 241 in August of 2020. Overall crime in the city decreased by 5.4%. 8,824 versus 9,330. Now, the overall crime statistic probably involves a lot of like people who are arrested for petty crimes around the riots and shit like that. But still, let's see. Compared to last August, gun arrests for the first 8 months of 2021 have increased by 37%. That's the arrest compared with gun arrests through August 2020 and are up 30%. By the way, arresting people who have guns and who aren't supposed to have fucking guns leads to fewer of those guns being used killing people. And so that's why we need stricter gun laws. See how that works? Notice the correspondence there, Trumpies, that when you arrest people who shouldn't be having guns, fewer people end up getting shot by those guns. While shooting incidents decreased by 30%. Look at that. Almost point for point. Gun arrests for the first 8 months of 2021 have increased by 37%, and shooting incidents have declined by 30%. Who else brings you this kind of clarity on these issues? I mean, honestly. So thank you for your support and the people who've subscribed. Thank you, yada, 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 for subscribing. Thank you, Francie, for the super chat. And thanks for being a member, by the way, for 9 months. Thank you, Robin, for the super chat as well. Thank you, Carolyn, for subscribing on YouTube. You guys can subscribe over there. Hal, your girlfriend wants to know if your real name is Hal and what your middle name is. Yes, of course, my real name is Hal, and my middle name is McGee. I talked about it in the show at Flappers on Friday night. Thank you, Joe Carter. Thank you, Gina. Thank you, Benny Loco, reminding everybody, when does this madness end? It won't. It never ends. We just learned, madness in many ways is like coal. It's always there, but if you apply enough heat and pressure, it turns into a diamond of comedy. Look at that explosion. Look at that, subscriptions. See, and if you subscribe and do that kind of stuff, it fills up the jar. We haven't had a full jar in a long time. I'm just saying, no pressure. But it would be nice. Bits and things. Hal is short for Alberto. You bet your bottom dollar. This kind of thing. What in the world? Oh my gosh. My thing just started scrolling without any help from me. It was very crazy. Crazy, go nuts. Thank you, Jester, also for resubscribing. 16 months. There you go. Don't forget, you have to resubscribe sometimes on Twitch, or you just kind of slide by and you're getting all this lovely entertainment for free. And information, by the way. Who the hell else, honestly? Who do you think, bless their hearts, you think the folks over at TYT do this kind of research? They don't. They just talk out of their ass and fling their poo at the screen and hope you don't notice. I love Pac-Man, but is he funny like this? No. I bring it all, just saying. I'm coming for all you guys. I may have only been on doing this show for a year, but for fuck's sake, I'm elbowing my way into position. Just saying. Seriously, Hal SMR is totally coming soon. Just get 2 microphones and whisper into it. I'll just tell you facts about reality. All right, here we go. So let's go. Shit.
Be changed, okay? Otherwise it would be so sad. You wouldn't even want to talk about it. But what's happened in New York, de Blasio is the worst mayor. It's filthy dirty.
It's filthy dirty. Well, let's be honest. Oh, Hype Train. Hype Train. Come on, Twitch, Hype Train. That's right. A lot of you just remembered that you'd forgotten to resubscribe. So sometimes when I remind you of that, then you subscribe. And that really does the Hype Train. That's what really brings it. What's wrong with vacationing in Mexico? Well, the Mexican government is half cartel, and the other half is shitty towards migrants and does some really gnarly stuff. And so, therefore, go someplace else until they straighten up their act. I would say the same thing about traveling in China, and I love Chinese culture so much. I would love to go visit there more, but it's fucked up right now. And what they're doing to the Uyghurs, no way. What they're doing to the democracy movement in Hong Kong, no. So therefore, no, not going. Same thing applies to Mexico in a lot of ways. Yeah, vacay in the USA. At least we're self-responsible for this stuff. Yeah. Level 2 Hype Train already. Bless your hearts, you guys with the bits and the stuff and the hugs. Thanks. See, that's it. Twitch knows how. And my Twitch chat knows how to party. Sorry. I'm sorry, you were busy spitting all over Janine's lap.
People are living on Park Avenue. They're living in tents in the most incredible streets where people come from all over the world and they pay tax, which gives our police the money. They have to refund the police.
Oh, God, the fucking slurping. Jesus Christ, man.
To give the police more money. Mm-hmm. But what's happening in New York and what's happening in Chicago, where
they're not defunding the police in either of those fucking cities.
88 people were shot last month and 6 died. I don't even know how only 6 died. 88 people were shot. Mm-hmm.
Well, quite frankly, it's these strict gun laws. You're not even allowed to learn how to be a good shooter in Chicago.
Look at a weekend they had a little while ago where they had a weekend, Labor Day weekend, where many people were shot.
Let's talk about Hunter Biden and especially.
Look at that edit. Look at that fucking edit. Just chop the shit out of that. Hey, Hype Train. I think it's not filling up because they're bouncing out. You guys are so, it all happens once.
Council. This week, Merrick Garland.
Fill the cup. All right.
Asked again about what.
What? Wait a minute.
About Hunter Biden and a special counsel. This week.
Hold on. Back up. Back the fuck up.
Where many people were shot.
Let's talk about Hunter Biden and a special counsel. This week, Merrick Garland.
Okay, what's happening there? What is this? And that's a piece of tape. Is that just like when you put your hair back behind your ears?
Was asked again about whether or not he would appoint a special counsel to investigate Hunter Biden. Again, Hunter Biden, who couldn't get his art, so-called art, listed in any gallery until his father became president, now selling at the same prices as a Monet or a Degas.
Yeah.
No special counsel. That's gotta eat it.
I think that's the least of it. But the art is so.
I think that's the least of it because Eric wants to try that, and if I shut him down.
So he's getting $500,000 a painting.
Right.
And I was saying.
Oh, if you want to watch Trump get jealous right now, it's coming.
That a Monet was getting less. Okay.
Son of a bitch. Okay, listen to this. She tells him something, and he repeats it as if he heard it somewhere else, not just from her.
No.
No special counsel. That's gotta eat it.
I think that's the least.
Wait, back up. What does she say? Let her tell the story.
Biden and his special counsel. This week, Merrick Garland was asked again about whether or not he would appoint a special counsel to investigate Hunter Biden. Again, Hunter Biden, who couldn't get his art, so-called art, listed in any gallery until his father became president, now selling at the same prices as a Monet or a Degas. Yeah. No special counsel. That's gotta eat it.
I think that's the least of it. But the art is so terrible. So he's getting $500,000 a painting.
Right.
And I was seeing that a Monet was getting less. Okay.
You didn't see shit. She just said that to you. Why are you repeating it as if we didn't all just watch her say that to your face?
It's such a terrible situation. And we're not going to learn who the buyers are. Should I buy one?
But isn't
It'll
Hunter
give me great access to the White House.
You don't actually have any money. Yeah, that's the problem. And yes, try to buy access to the White House. Buy one of his paintings and see how far it gets you.
They say that there's a wall. They have no idea, but there are people who are actually coming to the exhibits. So,
first of all, the concept of it is ridiculous. And you said it couldn't get in the past. I don't think he ever painted before. I think he just started. So he's learning by the numbers. And
by the way, let's see. George. That didn't help. Hold on. Hold on one second. Hold on. Now, this, when you think of art and Biden, you think of, him getting paid a lot for the artwork, Hunter Biden but there's a firewall so that the White House doesn't know who's paying for this idea, in theory. Trump spent $60,000 in foundation money to buy a vanity portrait, Michael Cohen reveals in testimony. Donald Trump's former personal lawyer, Michael Cohen, testified before the U.S. Congress that he stated that U.S. President used $60,000 in funds from his now dissolved charitable foundation to buy a portrait of himself at the Hamptons Fair in 2013. Cohen stated that Trump set up a fake buyer to bid on his portrait by the artist William Quigley at the Art Hamptons auction so that it would garner the highest price among all the works on sale. So he drove it up, essentially, and then used charity funds to pay for it. As the last lot, the portrait ultimately went for $60,000, and the Trump Foundation then repaid the straw bidder. Cohen also testified that the portrait is now displayed in a country club owned by Trump. The defunct foundation's other questionable spending includes buying another portrait of Trump at auction for $10,000 after no bids were placed. Trump's charity purchased a portrait of him after no one else bid on it. That's delicious. That's the one where he's on, it shows him with his leg on a chair or some shit like that. No one else bid, Footer said, adding that the foundation was then stuck with the painting. Oh, it's so good. Such a joy. So much fun. Hold on 1 second. Dump this down here. I'm going to have to shut some of these pages because there's so much stuff up. And I have another video I want to show you.
Let me tell you, I believe that as bad as that is, it's peanuts compared to other things, okay? But it's...
Yeah.
Is it peanuts compared to the diseases that COVID is peanuts to? Or is it peanuts just compared to peanuts in general? Or is it peanuts and compared to, like... Jimmy Carter's jobs numbers, like your numbers are peanuts compared to his, ironically. Isn't that funny? Isn't that funny how even with more people in the country, Jimmy Carter actually created more jobs in one term than Donald Trump did by double. So your economic numbers are peanuts to Jimmy Carter's numbers. Isn't that funny? Weird, especially considering what you think of. You think of sort of Carter's his term as an example of the worst possible presidency. You were floating that earlier. That's just I like it.
Horrible. I've had people say that's a terrible thing. That is a terrible thing.
Is that what they say? They walk up to you and let me get this right. People have walked up to you and said that is a terrible thing, and you repeat that is a terrible thing. And much like when Jeanine Pirro just said that Hunter Biden's getting $500,000 for painting, and people are buying Monets for less, and then you go, yeah, he's getting $500,000, and I've seen that Monets are going for less. You mean you're a porous-brained old fart who just repeats shit in front of people in an attempt to get them to like you? Weird.
What's going on? And they're getting numbers like nobody has ever gotten.
A lot of money.
Nobody's gotten. In fact, I'm thinking about opening up my own gallery.
I'm
How much are you going to
charge?
I think a couple of $1 million a painting.
Yeah?
If he gets 500,
who are you going to paint?
I'll paint whatever the hell I have to paint to get $2 million.
Mr. President.
You broke son of a bitch. Please start painting. Please start painting and selling them. Oh my God. I can't wait. Yeah. I'm sure it won't look anything like the artwork found in, I don't know, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
And thank you so much for having us here at this beautiful Mar-a-Lago, and thank you for taking the time for us.
Thank you, Jeanine.
Yeah, thank you for interrupting your Coke nap with your blazingly red, burned out eyes and your odd pink under eye makeup.
Thank you very much.
Hey, Sean Hannity here.
Shit. Oh my God, what a mess. Okay, I don't have time for much. I'm already over, but I have to do at least part of this because this cracked me up. Just the whole concept of this, and I blame Greg Kelly that we used up a bunch of this time. But Laura Ingraham is where have all the good men gone, and where are all the gods? Where's the streetwise Hercules? All right, now there's a reason why Laura Ingraham is sort of sensitive about the lack of real men in America. You have to understand, she works at Fox News, and all she sees all day are the likes of Sean Hannity and Kilmeade and Ducey and Tucker Carlson, and you can understand how she would think that the rest of the world's manliness has been sucked away. Everyone around her looks like that. How do you not lose your hope for humanity, much less masculinity? You know what I mean? And yes, and it is Black Sleeveless Shirt Day for the women of Fox News, apparently. I don't know why. So they all get a memo or something. Everyone looked like a BDSM butcher. What's the note today? All the women hosts have to look like they work in a slaughterhouse that gives hand jobs to Wall Street tycoons. Yeah, it's like Casual Friday, only horrifying. Maybe it's a Halloween thing. We'll just leave it at that. Wear black, it's Halloween. So this is where have all the men gone? And again, how do you not feel that way if you work at Fox News and you see the men around you at Fox News all the time? You're obviously going to draw that conclusion that manhood is gone, that every man is a whingy, weak, broken specter of what manhood used to be, flailing at their decaying masculinity with sort of pointless acts of toxic masculinity to just prove their worth. And it's got to be pathetic, and you got to notice it all the time when they're sitting right next to you in the makeup chair. Right, Laura? All right, so this says missing men, attributes, protects, provides, and defends without being aggressive or violent. Suddenly, I don't feel seen, because that's exactly what I do. Oh, it's the without being aggressive or violent. I see. So you're basically, Laura, if Dan Bongino has been spending too much time at the station, blink once for yes and Sieg Heil for no. Right?
Men gone. That's the focus of tonight's angle.
Hold on. Here, hold on.
Where have all the men gone? That's the focus of tonight's angle.
Somebody's not having much luck on the Tinder.
Now, once
I do not have to go to LA tonight. I have to go to LA tomorrow night.
Related to women's studies, classrooms, and college campuses, the phrase toxic masculinity entered our cultural vernacular a few years ago. Now, this was around the time that the American Psychological Association jumped in to warn that males who socialize to conform to traditional masculinity ideology are often negatively affected in terms of mental and physical health. Well, the argument is that boys are conditioned to be tough and not show weakness. That's a bad thing, I guess. And then by suppressing boys' feelings, their emotions, then they're likely to be more prone to violence or aggression, more likely to end up in prison or in trouble at school.
Well, statistically, they are.
And people who work in gender studies programs, they're dead set against the old confining rules of masculinity. And you'll see this in a highly produced Hollywood conversation.
I think there's a model about being
A highly produced Hollywood thing from Wayfarer Studios on YouTube. By the way, it's a conversation between this dude. Hold on.
Conversation.
The dude they show. Yeah, there's a conversation between a dude with no shoulders who's supposed to exemplify the sort of narrow Antifa style, physically weaker, like vegan man. This is a conversation between vegan man.
I think there's a model
and our fill-in version of Alan Dershowitz. Okay, but here we go.
About being a real man in America. And I think
this is Dr. Michael Kimmel, expert on men and masculinity. Citation needed.
sometimes that model is that more sort of stoic, hard, tough, etc. My friend
I feel seen.
Gorman, who used to be a professional football player, says that he remembers his father.
Don't sip your tea with your little coin bracelet on and give him some googly eyes. Hello. While he's trying to talk to you about how men used to be tough. I'm sorry, my throat's dry all of a sudden. Yeah, this is totally a setup. This is they hunted the entire internet to find soy boy and old guy discussing things they don't want to be.
Just saying to him, be a man. Man up. Toughen up. Don't be a girl.
Mm-hmm. Well, he can't be a girl, not in that sense. And by the way, man up is different from toxic masculinity in that regard. Like this is just fighting against old vernaculars. But let's see where they take it from. Don't be a girl. Really? Is that what he said? Man up. Don't be a girl. That's how we were all raised. Did we just skip the 80s and fucking 90s? Honest to God. Like hold on. This idea that somehow men are wussified because we no longer talk to each other like post-World War II or in the middle of a foxhole in World War II all the goddamn time, or that because you watched Mad Men a few years ago that's how shit has been run. The entirety of the 80s, every guy I knew was brought up to respect women and largely and to be okay with showing emotion. I mean, the amount of cross-dressing by straight guys for art's sake in the 70s is well documented. The 90s, I mean, grunge, half of it was the ability to cry over the relationship with your fucking dad.
This is how far we've fallen in America. Telling a boy not to be a girl, I guess, is now...
It's now what?
Considered abusive. We're in an upside-down world, my friends, and I think more people now see...
Well, no, here's an idea. Maybe there's a better way to convey what it means to be a man without the denigration of women being part of the process. But then that wouldn't feed into the narrative.
Through the attempt that they're making to kind of wrap their attacks on traditional gender roles around an anti-bullying campaign. Well, that's absurd because real men do not bully, we know that. Real men don't beat their wives, we know that. Real men don't hurt animals or children, we know that. All these.
Apparently you fucking don't, because have you, I've been at Fox News and overheard Sean Hannity talking to his wife. There's no fucking way you weren't there at some point hearing that shit.
People agree on that.
No, she said real men aren't bullies. That's what you're talking about. Well, we're not talking about real men in this regard. We're talking about toxic masculinity, not tonic masculinity.
And by the way, long before the phrase gender fluid popped up, good parents told their sons both to be a man and to be courageous, valiant, compassionate. Now, I heard my friend's father say, "Stop whining and be a man." Like he was complaining about something. He said it a lot, actually. It didn't hurt my buddy one bit. He's a great dad today. But today, the radical left.
Yeah, they're not talking about those situations. They're talking about the extremities of those circumstances. If you'll notice, that dad you were talking about said, "Be a man," which was code for be courageous. In that family, that's what manliness meant. So you define what manliness means, and then you ask your son to live up to that standard as a man. That's not wrong unless the standard that you're setting up of what constitutes manliness is shitting on women, for example. Like the example you just showed where the guy goes, "Don't be a girl." Being a man is not the opposite of being a woman or being a girl. The good parts of being a man aren't created or don't exist in that context in terms of driving men to be better in themselves as oppositional to what women are. That's the problem. And if you'll notice in her example, she's giving an example of allegedly, and if you flesh it out, the understanding is that supposedly that guy's a good guy. And when he said be a man to his son, the idea was be the best it is to be male in this expression. That's what it means, because he's lined up all those other factors to, that would make sense in that context. There's no underlying be a man, which means don't be like your sister or your mother because they're weak and stupid and yada yada. And that is two distinct differences. I know I'm splitting hairs here, but there's two distinct differences between the clip she showed and what this other dude said, and they are differentiated.
One goal in mind. It's to destroy the underpinnings of the nuclear family by targeting the distinct parental roles that fathers and mothers play. Ideally, come on, we all know this. It's better for children to be raised.
It's all a big plot to make men do laundry. God damn it.
A mother and a father who are present and involved. Now, we also all know that single moms and dads do their best, but it's much harder. God bless them all. And I say this as a single mom myself. Yet
You really? You're single? That shocks me. I don't know why someone wouldn't stick around. You seem so agreeable and such a good partner, like someone that you'd want to be around all the time. I don't know why in the world. And you haven't found someone else to move in. That's, As a single mom, do you play the field a bunch? I'm curious now.
Now, this idea of the traditional roles, it's threatening to the radicals who see the traditional family, especially traditionally minded men, as an impediment to the ultimate goal of the left of socialism and rewriting of American history.
Huh? Yeah, if it wasn't for the manly men there to punch these Marxists in their fucking face, the whole country's gonna fall apart.
Now, remember, Black Lives Matter had the disruption of the nuclear family as one of its main goals.
The company, the group she's talking about, not people who believe Black Lives Matter and use the hashtag to show that they are concerned about black men's lives taken by the police. What she means is the organization Black Lives Matter, because they put that in their bylaws, essentially. We'll get to that. And by the way, that'll forever be
joined the
used.
anti-family, anti-masculinity crusade long ago. Intelligent.
Oh, you mean with things like Queer as Folk? Is that where you're going?
Television and films, male protagonists are often portrayed as kind of goofy, helpless, helpless saps or gender fluid geniuses.
From the dance class to the ballroom. Oh, no touching. The battle line has been drawn. Yes, the floor.
This is from Pose on Touchstone Television. Yeah, this is pretty much how dads are portrayed in film nowadays. Yeah.
Work, darling. We made a It's only.
Yeah, that's meant to be they are the butt of that joke, dipshit. Did you see that? Mel Gibson's in that fucking movie. Look, there's Mark Wahlberg, and that's Mel Gibson. And the other two meet, and the joke is, they're the punchline. This is actually a movie that codifies what she's fucking talking about. See? That's fucking Mel Gibson. And he's like, look, and the whole joke is they cut off, of course.
It's only been since Thanksgiving, but it feels like forever.
Newsflash.
See? They're the joke. That actually is the opposite of what she's saying. And it's a comedy. It's meant to be absurd. It's fucking Will Ferrell. God
Hollywood.
Damn.
Women want.
Hold on. One second. 1 second, if I may. Hollywood. Let me bring up something real quick, if I could. Here you go. You guys get to see inside what stuff recommends for me on my Netflix. Here you go. So I love Cat Williams. I'm sorry. And so I just got on a kick lately, and now it's just recommending it. So Mindhunter. You've watched Mindhunter, right? Don't play it. So Mindhunter, the two protagonists, the two male protagonists especially, one is married with a kid and has a relationship, and he's just a chain smoking, beer drinking, barbecue FBI dude who's, kind of a take no shit guy. And the other one is single and having sex with a girl who's in college, and trying to maintain a relationship while he's traveling all over the fucking place. Like, okay, Cat Williams, Criminal Minds. This is the whole, I guess this is wussification. Let's see, Blacklist, obviously, is he your dad or isn't he? But he's probably a murderer or something like this. I didn't watch Halston. Let's see, what's it, I see something that's, like new. Here's all the Chappelle ones, yeah, and Sebastian Maniscalco, and there's Bill Burr. Let's see, these are Army of Thieves is new, and this is, by the way, this whole thing
we've been watching you
is one of those like try to check all the boxes diversity movies, and it's so ham-handed. Again, Hollywood, I love you, and I appreciate what you're trying to do. Show, don't tell. And if you can't show, don't tell, don't sell. That's how you convey a story. So much sales, not enough story. Okay, there's Squid Game, Maid, Hypnotic, Lock and Key, there's King Arthur, which of course is, what does that have to do with I can't click on anything without this thing showing up, and I know I'm going to get a hit or something. The Sinner, this is like his former relationship. He's trying to have a relationship, and there's all these cops. Like, this is not and Jesus Christ, the number of like Olympus Has Fallen, Taken kind of movies that's out there is crazy. I'm not pimping Netflix. I'm just pulling it up to show movies and what's out there right now. But in the vast majority of stories are not an example of what she gave, which is Daddy's Home 2. Is my point. All right, here we go.
Men to be men. Obviously, they also want men to be honest and kind and sacrificial and humble as well. But as an old friend used to say, most women I know, even women who work outside the home prefer a man who will protect, provide, and defend. And we don't want men who will elbow us out of the way to primp in the mirror, or men whose idea of a fun afternoon is getting a mani-pedi and a facial. No. Remember the man?
First of all, I don't know who the fuck that guy is, but there's no way he's elbowing anyone out of the way. And secondly, he's not getting a mani-pedi and a facial. And if he is, it's because he's not looking for a woman who works outside the home in that regard. The other thing, too, is maybe your weird rules about how men should behave is why you're alone.
The way the Obama people used in ads to push Obamacare? Well, even Morning Joe all those years ago couldn't stop laughing at him.
This guy
Which is funny.
You're young people.
Jim Van Dyke, it looks like he's out of a bad Vampire Weekend video.
Of course, all the Pajama Boy fans are totally shocked that young men are flocking to non-effeminate men like Jordan Peterson, who wrote 12 Rules for Life. And they're especially furious.
By the way, non-effeminate men. He's a college professor. He doesn't bench press or lift weights or anything. What the fuck are you talking about? He basically, this is a bunch of conservative young men trying to reparent themselves because their dads were such pricks or were non-existent. I have that book. Read that. That book's not like be a fucking man at all. I have a lot of books, even stuff I don't agree with. Like you guys seen my reading list. It's full of all kinds of awful. But the point is, I mean, at least pull out Bongino.
Millions are tuning in to listen to manly men like Joe Rogan.
Toxic masculinity, that's a hilarious expression, because you need to thank toxic masculinity for all the bridges, all the jets, all the rockets, all this toxic masculinity. If you break...
Well, he's true. Werner von Braun, as men go, especially when he was working for the Nazis, was great with rockets, but was kind of involved in what some would refer to as an organization of toxic men. Werner von Braun.
All the things that men have invented, and all these toxic men have prevented, like, you from being murdered in war and protected the country, and all the different things that you could attribute to toxic masculinity. Most of it's positive.
That's why.
Right, but that's not the toxic masculinity part, and it's the inability to make the differentiation that we're talking about. And even she makes a differentiation between the two, and I would argue that those are the things you're talking about, is tonic masculinity, is the true expression of masculinity. Nothing wrong with it. Nothing at all.
Listen to him. Now, the fact is, the natural instinct of most men is to protect.
And by the way, nobody is like on the Rogan side is listening to him because of the masculine nature of what he's saying. Because Jordan Peterson says often the same things and is not masculine at all. As a matter of fact, he got very ill because of an autoimmune disorder or something like that. Nearly died, wasted away. He's super skinny right now. He's on a singular meat only diet or something like that. Literally because he's allergic to almost everything else. There's nothing about it like, I only listen to Rogan's shit because he's thick. Like, nobody thinks that. He draws some audience because he does the MMA stuff, and he draws some of that audience over there. But a vast majority of his audience was on hand before that shit.
Women, but that's slowly being beaten out of them by angry feminists or overly feminine men who love submissive types. This seems especially to be the case in more liberal...
They do what now? I'm sorry. Overly feminine men who like submissive types are beating the masculinity out of other men who are truly masculine, but are having that driven out of them by overly feminine. What the fuck are you talking about?
Areas. And the consequences are horrifying. Now, something that happened in a Manhattan subway car when a woman told a perturbed African-American man to take a chill pill. Watch.
Say the word chill pill.
Yes. Yo, you wildin'. She a female. What? That's OD.
Well, that went on, but notice what didn't happen.
Notice what didn't happen. He punched her in the face and she didn't even go down. You're right. Men have lost their masculinity. A dude that size tags a woman holding a purse right in the off button, right in the knockout zone. And she's just was like, she just stands there. Holy shit. Get thee to a gym, young man. What the fuck? How is this indicative of masculine, feminine relationships in this? Christ.
Not a single man on that train.
It plays the same thing again. And by the way, not a single man on that train did what?
Intervened.
Yeah.
A more shocking incident took place in Philly last week when a woman was...
And this is because men have been feminized, is the theory.
Raped on the L train with other passengers aboard. Not a single one did anything to help her. And earlier this week in San Francisco, it was a young woman who chased down a man who pushed an elderly Asian lady to the ground. When the woman confronted the assailant, she was stabbed 3 times. Where were the men?
Well, apparently they were trying not to get stabbed or something. Maybe they were back helping the Asian lady and figuring the cops would get that person.
Frankly, the mass feminization of men should trouble women the most. The victims in all those heinous attacks were women who were over...
Yes, because, statistically, men are more often to be harmed and killed by other men, but we'll just show 3 videos in a row and assume that that's what this is all about.
Powered by bad men. And because the cultural elites and institutions...
The Philly story is a lie? I wouldn't doubt it, but I'll look into it. Yes, hold on one second. Hold on. Mm-hmm. Get out of here. Collapse. Why accounts of Philadelphia train passengers not intervening in a rape spread. Police narrative of people watching a man rape a woman was not true, but it still ran wild in the press, similar to a 1964 murder that prompted the bystander effect. The news was horrifying, a parable of inhumanity so grim that it was destined to go viral. 2 weeks ago, police said passengers on Philadelphia's elevated train watched a man rape a woman and did not intervene, and that some riders might have even recorded the October attack with their cell phones. Those onlookers did not call for help during the attack. The only person who dialed 911 was an off-duty transit worker, police alleged. I'm appalled by those who did nothing to help this woman. Burns said the passenger stood idly by, might even face criminal charges. Transit authorities made similar statements, but it now seems the story was not entirely accurate. In fact, the story is far more complex, revealing not only a brutal crime, but how a mistaken narrative ran wild in the press. At the same time, the appalling rape does reveal social problems in America, but they center around crime, the pandemic, and policing, not the baleful influence of social media. Portrayal of bystanders... the Delaware County District Attorney, whose office is prosecuting a case alleged rapist Fiston Nagoy, said this portrayal of bystanders callously videoing the crime was simply not true. The prosecutor, Jack Stolzheimer, said it was wrong for authorities and media to advance the narrative that people were callously sitting there filming and didn't act, calling it misinformation. While Nagoy's alleged interaction with the victim took place over a 40-minute period, starting with unwanted talking, then groping, the rape lasted about 6 minutes. Other riders were not on the train for the entire duration of the interaction and might not have known what was happening. Surveillance video from the train revealed 2 passengers raised their phones toward the assault and that one of them provided their video to authorities. The dramatic turn of events was raised a question about the original because they thought sex was happening, not rape, and yada yada. Explanations are multifaceted and nuanced, ranging from police accountability to broad societal fears, long-standing concerns over public safety. But one definitive starting point is that the Kitty Genovese case, that's the woman who was supposedly stabbed, nobody did anything, which turned out not to be true. Many years later, it emerged that Times' description of bystanders was incorrect. Far fewer people had actually witnessed her murder than was reported, and some did contact authorities. By the way, almost everyone, and the people who didn't have a phone. One of Genovese's neighbors went out to help her, cradling the dying 28-year-old while waiting for paramedics. Most glaringly, an ambulance came to the scene precisely because neighbors had called for help. That's the old story of this. In 90% of cases where there were violent crimes where there were bystanders, 90% of those cases, bystanders did intervene. People are not callous monsters who walk the fuck away. But yeah, there you go. Thanks for pointing that out, guys. Easy to look up. I'm sure Laura just didn't have time.
Have spent years villainizing masculinity. There were no good men willing to step in to save them. And that's the angle.
Hey, Sean Hannity.
That's it? That's your whole fucking sales pitch? Man, I have never seen anybody write an opening to their show straight from their Tinder goodbyes. They should have called this video, Laura Ingraham is tired of getting ghosted. Yeah, this is a bunch of, and by the way, it's probably Biden's fault. It has to be. And you know what, I gotta say, you may have something there. At some point, people might have said that, there were tough guys in the world. And now you got dudes who are just on there like bitching about missing their bus stop. Like what kind of a man gets stuck on a bus? Who bitches about having to walk 6 blocks? I mean, who feels safe enough to be married to this man? You know what I mean? Like, where in the world? This is terrible. How can you possibly just... Oh my God, is that... On the weekend, all the amateurs run around and do the intoxicated tomfoolery, but I treat it as a work day. This is the weekend. My only recreation will be tending to my train set late in the evening and knocking out a few classic episodes at different strokes. Early bird gets the worms. You gotta be fucking kidding me. What the fuck does his picture say? This is the work he's doing. Whatever this notebook is, what the fuck is that? Hold on. I gotta shrink this down so you guys can see it. This is his work. This is him doodling 5 words in the middle. Who took this picture? By the way, did you just wake up from your nap and go, fuck, I got a social media post. Social media post. Oh, shit. Social media post. On the weekend, all the amateurs run around and do the intoxicated tomfoolery. Intoxicated tomfoolery? What the fuck? Maybe if you were capable of getting your work done during the week, you wouldn't have this problem, Greg. Maybe you wouldn't have to desperately make notes alone in your single-serving dining room to watch a few classic episodes of Different Strokes. What the fuck? Is that Morrissey? I know, it's totally... He looks like Morrissey. That you just think that because he looks goddamn miserable. What's he taking? I'm no prude, but I think Kendall Jenner should cover up a bit and hit the books. Went to law school, not saying Kendall needs a PhD. Well, you're the one posting the fucking pictures. I think she should cover up. I mean, this is too much for anybody. Look at these pictures. I mean, honestly. I get it. She's pretty. But there's more to life, Kendall. Maybe that's why you're alone and not being invited to the tomfoolery. You prudish prick. What kind of this misery? Oh, this is the Sean Spicer. Remember it? When Sean Spicer posted this thing, and this was this running gag. Get out! Jesus Christ, what a fucking misery. Greg Kelly is on WCPT 10 and 3, fastest growing show on radio, great numbers. This is him trying to do a Trump tweet. Fucking pitiful. I love hijinks much as the next guy. No, you don't. You hate hijinks. But Sean has taken, Sean in quotes, what the fuck, has taken things too far. I shall retaliate at a time, blaze my choosing regards the wedging crew. The wedging crew? You're going to give, wait a minute. Wait, what? Greg Kelly is threatening Sean Spicer with a wedgie. And he has a problem with Kendall Jenner going out and scantily, and he eats alone in the saddest son of a bitch in the world. What? Oh, and this is the egg thing, right? What is this going to be? There's no red thing. Why the hell do they have real guns on movie sets? You should have my arsenal of toy guns when I was a boy. Really awesome. So realistic. When I was 6, I used them. So I have my friend's Ford. I heard they have special effects in Hollywood. So why real guns? Okay, good. Shut the fuck up. Fucking hijinks. God damn it. Every time I turn around, there's hijinks. And it's terrible. And the tomfoolery. And now I'm smelling weed right now. Too bad I can't call, quote, the cops. So many people are stoned. And this is the picture? What the that kid looks stoned, clearly. The guy on the bicycle's stoned. Look at him. He's obviously moving at a different... He's moving in slow motion. Everyone around him is moving. Like, you can't even frame him. That guy is so stoned, he's blurry. What? Please tell me this is sarcastic. What a miserable bastard. Jesus. Who is... What? I'm caught in the rain. It's coming down real bad right now in quote, the Big Apple. Why do you put the Big Apple in quotes? Secondly, what the fuck is with that umbrella? Oh my God. You know what, Laura? You might have a point. What the hell? It's like he's waiting for me to play Testicle Twister on his forehead. Purple tie, polka dot thing. Everybody's stoned. I don't want to go out. Everybody just leave me alone. What? Oh, God. Looking forward to having American Hero on. Oh, God. A lot of positive buzz about... Why buzz? Why does he put shit in quotes that doesn't need to be? High School Music. Days. Why is days in all caps? Everyone's asking me what it was like back then. Yeah, I'm sure they are. And they type of watch I had on, Swatch. Well, you're bearing the lead. I was dating a very famous star from Facts of Life. Not Mrs. Garrett. Ha ha, not funny. By the way, it's the only thing that he and I have in common. I played saxophone in high school as well. Why are you taking close-ups of... I hate to nitpick with what's with the tats. Her stomach looks pretty strange. Scene as the girl in half shot through the heart. What's happening? Yeah, why are you closing in on pictures of him? Dude was an undercover cop. Of course he's covered in fucked up tats. Half of those he had to get while he was undercover. Before we hear about the women of Capitol Police, what the hell is this Playboy January 85? Let's hear about the unarmed woman Capitol. Oh my God. Look at this. Yeah, fuck the cops. What about this lunatic they shot for climbing through the glass, trying to murder members of Congress? Jesus Christ, this is just miserable. I've never done a deep dive on Greg Kelly's Twitter before. Of course, he followed that. This is Let Kyrie play. Elements of MAGA and BLM coming together and agreeing that vaccine mandate has gone too far. Let Kyrie Irving play. But yeah, I love it when Americans fight Americans over fuck all. That's great. All of a sudden, he gives a shit about the woman who played ISIS. And it's him bitching about the fact that, how these cops are treated. And then he played that video on there. We saw that. Gloria Stefan is at the same restaurant as I am. She's right over there. He's that motherfucker. Great picture, though. Jesus Christ. And this is the other thing. Cops don't cry. Meanwhile, like Greg Kelly has never been in a situation where he's been in more discomfort than on a bus in the last 15 years, even though he served. This killed me, though. I was falling apart. The fact that it was 5 eggs. All right, I got to sign off. You guys are wonderful. Thank you guys for the support today. Thank you for joining us every day. Good laughs today. Good times. I work out tomorrow. I'll see you guys tomorrow afternoon at the regular time, 3 o'clock, and then I blaze a trail to LA again. And let's over the next 24 hours, let's smile a little more than usual. Because I'm telling you, this shit that they're trying to scare you with, we're gonna make it through. I'm telling you. And we just every day you just get up, put a foot in front of the other. It's gonna be all right. It's going to be all right. And we have nothing to fear from these idiots. From Trump, from Greg Kelly, from Fox and Newsmax, and even Tucker Carlson's ridiculous special, which, by the way, when they post it on their website, I'm going to cover it. I don't know if I think the first chapter might be up tonight, but I'll cover it. I'll pick a day this week and we'll go through it and slice it to bits. And I'll just... lovingly, in the name of my genuinely patriotic support of the United States of America, gladly, on behalf of all truth-loving patriots out there, teabag Tucker Carlson's bullshit right in front of the entire country. Glad to do it. And to all the trolls and maggots, thanks for supporting the show by being here and hate watching and typing shit, because you help us out so much. Don't forget, everybody, like and subscribe. Give a thumbs up if you watch. You're seeing this later. Maybe you're like, hey, I haven't subscribed, I haven't super chatted or anything. Like, give it a shot. Give it a shot. Give us a little support. It helps. And until tomorrow, I will miss you. I will miss you terribly. I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, take care, and I'll see you. Okay, bye.